Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast Never Sleeps. I'm your host, Cameron. With me always is Jared. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for him.
Hey, there he is, everybody. Welcome back.
So, we got a freaking fun show planned, dude.
Yes, I know.
We got a fun Marvel Minute.
Yep.
We got a really cool segment you're doing. You want to tell the people a little bit about
What's
it?
yours?
So mine, do you know, have you ever heard the phrase, "Catch me outside"? How about that?
Okay. Yes, I don't know anything about it, but I know the phrase and I know the origin. So that's exciting. I'm excited about that. Cool. I like this.
All right, what you got?
I am going to talk about past lives, reincarnation, and the Akashic Records. Basically, the internet Wi-Fi of space-time itself. So we'll get to that.
Does that sound great? Yeah, awesome. I love it. So, are you ready to hop in, bro?
Yeah, let's jump in.
Let's do it.
Woo!
And I got my disappointed face on.
You like the end of Loki season 2?
Yeah.
Him with the green time.
It sounds like something I would make up. It really does. But it's real.
A ghost, a ghoul, a goblin, a monster, a werewolf.
Went on and wrote in the comments.
I was gonna say that came out great.
You're off to a great start.
Yeah. We got some fun stuff planned today. We got some goods.
We do. We got the goods, man. If I say it when I mean it, and I mean what I say. So, first off, dude, let me ask you, how was your week? Before we hop into the freaking Marvel Minute, how was your week, man?
Good. Yeah.
What did we get up to? Anything fun? You hear any crazy stories?
You know, my daughter's on summer vacation. I've gotten to spend some time with her. That was really fun. So anytime we get together, family time is fun. She's just so fun to talk to now. She's at an age where like I can just really talk to her. The stuff I talk about on this show,
Yeah.
I talk to about with my 12-year-old.
That's hilarious.
So obviously half of it, she's just like, Dad, like, Dad. But
On the other half, she's like,
there's like a
"Nah."
glimmer of like some interest in some of these things, and that's what I want. I want to try
You
and
want
get
her to be interested in this kind of stuff?
excited about something, find a passion, and then chase it.
Yeah.
So that's those are the highlights for my week.
I like it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you hear any crazy stories? Anything funny? Anything insane?
Crazy stories.
Oh, what's the Howard Stern thing you were telling me about?
Oh, it very much ties into my segment today. I
Really?
can tell you this. Yeah. Actually, this is interesting. So
It ties into the segment too?
it ties into the
Go.
segment. So
Okay.
in the, I think it was the late 90s, the Rolling Stones had a new record coming out, and they had a single. And back in these days, before like all the streaming, it was a big deal when the radio stations would get these singles from a big band like the Stones and then play them. And you
Yeah.
couldn't play them until you were allowed to. Right? They
Yeah.
wouldn't even send you the copy of the album before then, just in
There's
case
an
it would
embargo.
leak.
Yeah, there's like an embargo on it. Yeah,
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so Howard Stern went to his partner in crime, his
Robin?
producer,
Oh, Fred.
his producer Fred, and said, because he played guitar, recreate a Rolling Stones song based solely on what we know, and that's all we know is the title. And Fred goes back to the
What's the
studio.
title?
It's been so long. I don't.
Okay.
Something that actually had nothing to do with like the chorus or anything like
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
just a single word title, something like "Lifted" or something like that.
Okay.
Okay. So he goes back to his own personal studio and he makes a song and does an impression of the Stones, like the voice, the
And
sound,
it's good?
the instrumental. And the day before the song is supposed to be released, they released their copy of Fred doing an impression of the Stones.
Yeah.
And it was so good, his impression, and the song was almost exactly the song that was about to come out. So much so that the managers and the people who managed the Rolling Stones and their record label
Yeah.
called up the radio station Howard worked at and threatened to sue. They said, "You're
Oh,
not
they thought he stole it?
They 100% heard it, and they thought it was the song
Wait,
because
so
it was that close.
He came up with, on his own,
On
came
his
up with
own.
a song that so closely resembled the real one?
The almost exactly
And
resembled
the
the
one
real one.
he like guaranteed he'd never heard.
Right. No one could have heard it. And no one even had it yet. So
how is
they
that
were
even-
they were pissed. How did you get it? Why did you leak it? And Howard, is known for ruffling feathers, especially back in the 90s.
Yeah.
So they thought that they were just being jerks and releasing the song too early to screw them over. And they threatened lawsuit and everything. And then they realized it wasn't the Stones. And even though the song sounded almost exactly the same of a song that he had never heard, it wasn't the same.
So are they formulaic? What does that say? And how does that tie into your segment?
So this collective unconscious, or the ability, sometimes inventions will two people will come up with the same invention at the same time, even though they live in different parts of the world.
That happens with comedians. Like
This weird thing.
they'll think someone can. They'll be like, "You stole my joke." It's like, no, man, I never. Saw
Exactly.
You.
Where does this spontaneous, what are they called? Muses, basically. What is this muse in the ether that is giving people that sometimes people are tapped into the same information at the same time, whether they know each other or not, whether they're geographically close to each other or not. But there's this simultaneous inspiration that people are tapped into. And a lot of songwriters will say, the song they don't even take credit for the song. Even though they wrote it, they'll say, I don't know how I wrote this song. It just came to me. I started writing, and this is and it's all these big hit songs that people love and connect to. They don't know how they came up with it. The inspiration, they can't tell you where it comes from.
Yeah, I remember.
That's
the best example, I think, probably of that is when Kesha was. When Kesha was talking about how she came up with. Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy.
Well, that song has a different connotation
that aged like milk
now.
Yeah. That was terrible. But
how cool, though. So there is something out there, some divine inspiration, something in the ether that people do tap into, whether they want to or are doing it purposely or not.
Or unconsciously,
and that's what I'm going to be talking about, is this collective unconscious that we can tap into, and what's in it, and how do we use it to our benefit. So that's why it ties into my story.
That's dope. Yeah. So I'm excited for your segment then. And real quick, I want to bust out, before I get into my segment, because mine's going to be a lot of fun, I want to bust out a quick Marvel Minute. But before we do so, I want to say, guys, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you do all that cool stuff. Because, and we do have chapters. So if you want to go through, you want like, hey, I want to hear Cameron's segment right now.
I want to hear
Go
this.
skip
Catch
ahead
me
to
outside.
it. Do it. Go skip ahead to it. If you want to skip to Jared's segment, go, dude. Make it happen. That's the cool thing about the chapters.
And
always make
the
sure
show. Tons of different types of entertainment. So
That's it.
Pick
That's
what
it,
you
baby.
want.
And it's all
Watch it
entertainment.
out of order. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't. But so that's cool. And the chapters, I love that you guys could just skip to whatever you want. But for those of you watching live, let's jump into the freaking...
Yay! We haven't done these in a minute.
Marvel Minute. Marvel Minute.
And I know we're doing it a little differently today.
A little differently.
Yeah.
So for this Marvel Minute, we're going to be discussing a line that was said in Infinity War.
Yes, a Marvel theory, if you will.
Dun, dun,
A very cool theory. And I like the idea of this. Like, your normal Marvel Minutes, we're kind of doing a little bit of announcing, like letting you know what's new in Marvel. Or
sometimes we'll
something that's
review a
come
movie
out.
that just came out.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But this is a theory time,
No,
baby.
we're talking theories.
So Loki, in Infinity War, he doesn't have a lot of lines because he dies at the beginning.
Boom.
But so what he says is, he's talking to
It's
Thor.
such a great way to.
It's the best. He's talking to Thor, and he did steal the Tesseract, and he's holding up.
That's
He's
funny.
like, "You're the worst, brother."
Yeah.
So good. You really are a terrible
And you
brother.
see in Ragnarok when he passes it,
Oh
he
yeah, and he
stops
looks at it. They don't show him take it.
No,
but we can infer.
He's like,
McKenna, what's up, my dear?
I need this. Yeah, it's an Infinity Stone.
Yeah. And so he obviously grabs it. So
Yeah.
he shows it off. He's like, "Oh, you're the worst brother." And
Yeah. And it gets their ship attacked. It gets most of their the remaining
The
Asgardians
only reason
killed.
Thanos cared about that ship,
Uh-huh.
and that's crazy to think about too. The only reason they were ever even attacked, and the reason why Thor ended up chopping his face off, is because Loki stole the Tesseract.
100%.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
That's why he's the worst brother ever.
Yeah, we really are the worst brother ever. Old Thanos cared about. He's a man with a singular goal. All he cared about was getting the freaking Infinity Stones. And they were just obstacles. But so Loki turns to Thor and he says, dramatically, he says, "The sun will shine on us again, brother."
Yeah.
Is that right?
He says like something like, don't worry. The sun will shine on us again.
Yeah.
I assure
Brother,
you,
yeah,
or something like that.
Something cool
Yeah.
with the old English type of
I
English.
assure you, the sun will shine on us again.
Yeah. So you were saying
Yeah.
that maybe there's more to it. Maybe he was hinting at something when he said the sun will shine on
Right.
us
So
again.
what's the setting here? So he has Thanos has the Power Stone already.
Yeah.
Which
He already
Thor later
decimated
says
Xandar.
makes him the most powerful being in the universe already. Without it, he's already he could beat the Hulk up. He never activated that stone, and he beat Hulk's ass.
Hulk says that. Yeah, Hulk says.
Yeah.
Which already makes him most powerful. Yeah.
Right.
Being
So,
in the universe.
and Thor, when he meets the Guardians, tells him he got the Power Stone from so destroying Xandar, which makes him
Decimated.
one of the most
Decimated
powerful, which
Xandar.
already makes him the most powerful being on
Yeah.
Earth.
Anyway, so
or in the universe.
the sun will shine on us again.
So he's already got the Power Stone, so he's extremely powerful. And when Loki goes to hand him, he has this little blade. He's going to try and stab him, which is a terrible.
Crazy,
plan.
worst theory. Or
Terrible
worst
plan.
plan ever. I mean,
Yeah.
worst plan ever.
But in the moments where he knows this probably isn't going to work, and him and Thor had just bonded finally,
Yeah.
and come to this place where they're kind of
They're
a
an
team.
understanding. Yeah.
Like they obviously love each other. They lost their father in the previous film. Like it just happened.
Ragnarok is so good.
It is.
And I love their little thing where like they throw Thor, or Thor throws Loki.
Yeah,
at him.
yeah.
He uses him
Get
like
help.
as a bowling ball.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They call it Get Help.
Yeah.
So that's the setting. Is they had finally come to this place where they're acting as a team. They need to relocate their entire race of people because Ragnarok destroyed Asgard.
Yep.
But he couldn't help himself but steal this little thing, and he knows it's his fault that Thanos is there, and now that a lot of their people are dead.
Thanos, someone Loki previously worked with.
Thor, yeah. So before he goes to stab him with a dagger, which he knows probably isn't going to work.
Terrible idea.
He's holding up the Tesseract and he's about to hand it to Thanos, and he's doing this to save his brother's life. Normally, he couldn't care less. Kill him, go ahead. He even
But because
says
they
it.
just made up.
But he does care. So he goes to hand it to him, and when he says that line, "Don't worry, brother, the sun will shine on us again."
That's it.
I believe that what he's trying to tell him in the last moments of his life, that he knows he's probably going to die, is go to the forge that is powered by a dying star, a sun. Go to Neverdelir. Yeah. Go to Eitri and get a weapon that can kill this guy because he's already too powerful for just you.
Yeah.
And you don't have Mjolnir anymore. So it was a way of just, as quickly as possible, give him the idea to go to Neverdelir.
So if Loki knew or not
Yeah.
that Thanos had been to Neverdelir before, if he knew or not, doesn't really matter.
No.
But if he did know that, oh shit, we're supposed to protect him, but as soon as Odin died, he went and destroyed Neverdelir and killed everybody except Eitri.
Yep, and
if
got
he knew
him
that,
to make the
and the
gauntlet.
star died, so he's saying the sun will shine on us again because he knows. Hey, restart that sun.
He doesn't know
build
that it's
a weapon.
dead, actually.
Well, what if he does? I'm saying either way.
Either way, he's saying go to the
It makes sense
go to
either way.
the heart
go
of
to
a dying
the
star.
Yeah. The sun will shine on us again. Go to the
Yeah.
place where they forge shit from a
From a
dying
sun.
star.
Exactly.
A sun, yeah.
Yep.
And it's such a cool theory. I thought that was great.
So yeah, it's
if
a cryptic nod and basically a plan.
in Loki in his last moments,
Yeah.
pretty sure his plan of stabbing Thanos in the
The
throat.
planner
with his
of all
little dagger.
planners.
Yeah.
Like he's a smart guy. He's not dumb.
So I think he knew I'm toast.
Yeah. You can't do this yourself. He
yeah.
just beat Hulk up.
Yeah.
And it was easy.
Yeah. So go
Yeah.
take this little piece of advice.
Yep.
Go make it yourself a nice
Thanos killing weapon.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Shouldn't
So-
we all have a weapon like that?
Yeah. Your body, you simply couldn't handle it.
Yeah, you
Your
lack
bodies
the
would
strength to
crumble.
wield them.
Yeah. Your bodies would crumble as your minds collapse to madness. Anyway, that's such a cool theory. I loved
Yeah,
it when I
it's a
saw
good
it.
theory.
And that's all we got for the Marvel Minute.
Let us know what you
Literally
think
was
of
like
that
a minute,
theory.
maybe 5. Yeah, I thought it was a great theory.
It is.
Such a cool little concept idea. But now it's time for the goods, dude.
Oh, yeah. Let's jump in.
Let's jump in. I play the intro again. So what we got is I'm talking about Catch Me Outside. How about that?
It's so great.
Is there any 6 words that you could say right now that could change your entire life?
No.
No.
Not that you would think.
But in the case,
maybe.
yeah. All racial
live
slurs.
online,
Yeah.
we could, yeah.
for sure. But for the better and make you a multimillionaire?
Oh, what?
Yeah.
She makes money from this?
Oh man.
Oh, dude, tell me.
Oh,
tell me
man.
more.
she's made more money in 6 hours than I may make in a lifetime. So, Danielle Bregoli,
Okay.
a.k.a.
Oh, that's her name.
Catch Me Outside.
I always wondered, what was her name?
So,
Does she go by that, or does she have like a name?
she has a name.
Okay, I wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, she seems like the person that would have
We'll
like a
get there.
nickname.
She has a nickname, and it's
Okay,
it's
good.
actually sort of funny, the nickname.
Good.
And most people can't even pronounce it, oddly enough. Yeah, I know. We'll get there. So, no 6 words have been more famous. No 6 words. I think going through my research, I can honestly say with a little bit of confidence that she might be the most viral person ever.
Oh shoot!
Yeah.
More viral than the
Fantastic, but yeah.
That's like one of the greatest. That's one of the
it's
greatest
so
videos
good.
there is.
I'd say more famous than the piano playing cat.
That's a big
huge one.
Yeah. What's
I'd
another
say
good one?
The double rainbow guy.
Oh, that's a
my
really
God.
good one.
Also, that black dude who's like the woman's like filming something and turns around and he's like, "Hi." Do you know that one?
No, that
it's the
sounds
greatest
funny,
thing ever.
though.
He's like
Yeah.
already staring at her, like he's like in love. Hi.
Oh, that is great.
It's like the greatest thing ever.
My.
That's
Oh, what about the
classic.
"Leave her alone"? Leave her alone. I think it was about Britney Spears. Do you remember that?
Yes.
She's
Oh yeah, the
crying.
girl or guy.
It's a girl, I think. She's
don't know.
crying with makeup all down her face.
Yeah.
Just leave her alone.
The Britney stan. Yeah.
Leave her alone.
Her. She was great. Another great one, and then I'll show you I think
These are like
the best of
early
them.
viral videos, like the
exactly.
most early.
Remember the guy talking about the robbery? The skinny black dude talking about being robbed?
No.
Damn it. Okay, never mind.
Darn.
Because that's a great one.
There's the one guy that he's so funny. He's like, I got him. Got him.
Got him. Oh, yeah.
How many times
These
was
nuts.
he used? Yeah.
Bro, that is classic.
They use him for all kinds of cutaways.
I don't know any of those, but I sure know the Catch Me Outside. Point exactly. My
Okay.
point exactly.
Go look up that.
So actually, don't even go look up that. Just check this out.
Okay.
And all these hoes laughing like something funny.
She's talking about the audience. That they're
The
laughing
mom
at.
translating.
Is she
Did you
English?
say the hoes are laughing?
Yep.
So the audience are a bunch of hoes.
Yep.
They're
clapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Huh?
Catch me outside. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that?
Did you say the
So good. So
Oh, come on.
classic.
Yeah.
So this is Danielle Bregoli. So
Okay.
those 6 words, I remember before I saw this clip, before anything, I would hear people say that, like at work and stuff.
Yeah.
Catch me outside. How about that? How about that? How about that?
Yeah.
Or someone.
So
would
what
be
she's
talking.
trying to say is like, I'll fight you. Like,
she'd
meet
say,
me
yeah.
outside so we can fight.
Layman's.
Yeah.
You want to step outside?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
But-
that's her way of saying it. I guarantee she didn't come up with it herself.
No.
I have a feeling she probably heard like her older brother or some random guy say it in a schoolyard scuffle and stole it. I don't believe she.
No,
she
like the term, like
came up
catch
with
me
it.
outside, like that's a term. But this little 13,
I never heard it before.
This little 13-year-old white girl,
Yeah.
with doing the black scent as they call
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
saying "Catch me outside." How about that?
Yeah, half the
Was-
things she was saying, I was having a hard time understanding. Yeah, which is funny.
And this is
So
on
she's-
Dr. Phil, and the
She's
episode
got a
is
character.
Yeah, oh for sure. And the episode is titled "My knife wielding, crazy 13-year-old daughter stole my car and tried to frame me for a crime."
No
which is all
way.
true. Yeah.
She tried to frame her own mother for a crime and at knife point.
Yeah, and she knife wielding because there's one piece of footage where she's holding up a knife. She's like, "I
So
don't
she's
like it."
perfect for Dr. Phil. This is
Perfect,
like
dude.
gold.
And-
They got this letter and was like, "Oh my gosh, book her now. Send the tickets."
No, because the mom has been writing letters to Dr. Phil since Danielle was 2 years old.
What? She's
Yeah.
been a nuisance since Terrible Twos.
Yeah, exactly. She locked her mom outside. She locked the door somehow.
Lock you outside.
How about that? Yeah. And she locked her mom outside, and Danielle went on this great podcast. It's called Growing Up Italian.
Okay.
And she went on the podcast, and she was telling the story about the mom. She's like, yeah, the mom was
Proud
there
of it.
too. It was great. And she's like, I was 2 years old. She's like, my intention probably wasn't to hurt my mom and not lock her out and be an asshole.
Oh.
But she was writing since then, 2 years old.
Yeah.
She's just doing shit.
Well, if you're writing Dr. Phil, then there's some intent there,
Oh,
right?
yeah, for
She
sure.
feels like if she brought her on the show that there's something to show.
Oh, absolutely. But then as soon as
That's one of my
she
biggest fears, by the way, is
What?
he's almost 2 now. My son accidentally locking me out of like the house or something, or locking himself in a room.
Yeah. I feel like you'd be able to be like, unlock, turn the thing, or just bust the motherfucking door down.
It's just when they get to that age where they can do.
That's why you need
open
those little
doors
door locks and all
stuff.
that. You need all that shit.
Dude, you got to protect everything. But
Every cupboard,
the front
every
door,
door
like I'm
handle.
scared to death that if that door's not always locked, if he can get to it, he can walk right out the
Oh,
front door and
dude,
just go on a walk.
His little drunk walk, he'll be out there.
He does,
he'll be
yeah,
across
right.
the block,
little baby
dude.
walk.
Yeah, I love
he does. He'll even say sometimes, "Bye, Dada, bye,"
Yeah.
and start walking towards the door like
No,
he's gonna go
that's
somewhere.
not
I'm
how
like,
things work at
no,
all. Yeah.
you can't just leave. Like it's bye, Dada,
That's
and he'll
great.
pick up his bag of
Yeah.
toys, put it on, and just bye. I'm
All the
going.
important shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my Legos and I got
He's funny with what he
teddy
picks.
bear.
It's very specific.
That's funny. And you could tell like his psyche, like what he finds important.
So it's like plastic fruit, plastic, toy,
Course.
water bottle,
Essential.
milk.
Yeah.
Then some toys, a stuffed animal,
course.
whatever he's gonna need out there,
Yeah, of
right?
course, yeah.
It's so he picks like food, drinks,
Fake food,
toys.
yeah.
And it's fake food, yeah. But he loads it up on his bag and he goes, "Okay, bye, Dada."
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, pal. Yeah. So,
So
but
funny.
could you imagine writing to Dr. Phil about your son right now?
No, because I don't feel he's doing it with malice. If you're writing to Dr. Phil, there's something going
There's
on.
something
here.
going on. So anyway,
Yeah.
they go on the show, and obviously it did gangbusters. It was the highest viewed clip ever. Right?
Yeah, it's funny.
huge.
It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
So I think they have like 200 million views on Dr. Phil's channel just from her. Just from her.
But she doesn't get paid on
4
that.
appearances. No, she doesn't get shit.
So
on
how,
it, I don't
how
think.
does she get fame and fortune from this?
It's a great question.
Yes.
So, as soon as that happened, a guy came out and said, "Yo, I think you're like this whole clip is great. I want to turn it into a song if that's cool, right?" And so they turned it into a
They
song.
didn't.
Yeah. Check
No,
this out.
they didn't.
Yeah, they did, man. Check this out.
La da da like this in the background.
No, that's my song, and that's fucking great.
Yeah.
How about that? Catch me outside. Catch me outside. Catch me outside. How about that?
This charted Billboard
What?
number 78.
No.
I believe it was on the Billboard.
can't.
Yeah.
It hit top 100.
On
And
the
that's
Billboard.
That's the Dr. Phil clip.
Yeah.
Are they even allowed to do that? Like take it? Because why not have her record it again?
I think they did. They wrote a
Okay.
contract and everything. They had a contract
No
out.
way.
And yeah, as a matter of fact, so they had the whole contract written, and she.
I'm blown away by this.
I know. And so number 72 on the Billboard
Come
100.
on, she
Is this
charted.
insane? Dude, a meme trap remix.
Shows you the power of the internet, man.
Straight up, especially in 2017. Dude.
Oh my gosh.
So a meme literally made it to the top 100. 72, bro.
Yeah. It almost makes you lose faith in humanity.
No, seriously. But wait, there's much more.
There's more.
So DJ Suede is the guy
Okay.
who made this, and they actually had a little beef.
Smart guy.
Even though they signed a contract, they said we wanted royalties. We're not getting royalties. They tried to sue, and so DJ Suede said, He said, I already, you already went through the contract with my lawyers and your lawyers.
Yeah.
So, we're
Catch
solid.
me outside.
And no, he said, and so we're good. How about that? And then he said,
that's funny.
and then he said, this 15 minutes of fame's going by real fast. Little did he know, who's DJ Suede? He had
Nobody
no fucking
knows.
idea.
I didn't even know
who's
that
the Catch
song,
Me Outside
yeah.
girl? You know who the fuck she is.
Yeah.
Danielle Bregoli. So then, so that's the song
Okay.
charted crazy.
No wonder everybody thinks they can get famous.
Oh, no,
You
straight
know what
up.
I mean? If you
Yeah.
could do something insanely silly online and go viral, like they feel like that's like you could change your whole life from
Absolutely.
that clip.
Why do you think we're on here right now, dude? No.
I think we're a little different than Catch Me Outside, but we're talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. How about that? So then you got to understand,
Yeah.
as soon as she does the Dr. Phil show, they send her to the Turnabout Ranch, which is for troubled youths.
Oh, these places usually not that great.
No.
They have bad
We'll
reputations.
get there too. But so thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Yeah, all the hearts.
So Yeah, so they send her to the Turnabout Ranch. No cell phone, no communicado with the outside world.
Okay.
So mind you, she's
Oh, so
blowing
they
up
didn't film
and has
this.
no idea.
Okay, so this was a real attempt to try and fix her.
Seemingly, yeah, it was. But Dr. Phil knew what he had on his hands. He sent a camera crew out to film her at the Turnabout Ranch,
So
which
they
never
did
happened.
film.
They
Okay.
knew Dr. Phil knew what he had
Yeah.
on his hands, especially when he saw those numbers coming in. He's like, "Wait, 5 million, 10 million,
Let's
11
keep
million,
this
12
going.
million?"
Let's keep this going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and he had her back
Dr.
on like a week
Phil.
later, like crazy. Like he knew what he had on his hands there. So, they go to the Turnabout Ranch, and when she gets home, she realizes she's famous as shit.
So she had no idea.
She had no idea.
That's cool.
But everyone is dogging on her. Not only
Yeah.
is it like boomers saying, "This told you Gen Z's the worst gen. Look at these entitled fucking people."
Yeah,
but
yeah.
even Gen Z were like, "Yeah, look at this nerdy bitch thinking that she can
Right.
appropriate cultures." So everybody was
Right.
shitting on her.
Everybody
Everyone
came
was
after
shitting
her,
on
but it was making her famous.
Yep, and she
Oh,
capitalized on
wow.
it. So a guy came to her and he said, "I think you have potential. I think I can make you a fucking star.
Okay.
Sign on the dotted
Well,
line."
you've already got a huge,
Yeah.
following,
Your name is out there. Yeah.
notoriety.
Not even
Yeah.
her name. The Catch Me Outside girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all it was. But
Shit.
this guy's like, we can capitalize on it.
Yeah.
Brand deals, sponsorships. And so they signed on the dotted line, and that's exactly what happened. Brand deals, sponsorships, all this shit started coming through.
What brand would want her to represent them?
Yeah. Well,
But
oddly
some
enough,
did?
a bunch.
No
dude.
way.
No.
She got more than one sponsor deal.
Oh no. She was already making good money. We'll talk
So
about
this okay, yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Okay.
Yeah, no, we'll talk about how she made. No, what were you gonna say though?
I was gonna say, so she might be a millionaire.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
we'll get to her specific amount of money in just a minute. here.
Yeah, okay.
But it's actually fucking insane.
I'm already just extremely blown away.
Yeah, let's see here. Okay.
Danielle's digital manager, booking live appearances and setting up sponsorship deals. The same week Danielle reappeared on Dr. Phil, she starred in
Back
Kodak
on
Black's
Dr.
music
Phil.
video for Everything 1K. This video was literally just Kodak's song with Danielle flexing cash, wearing grills, and sitting on a
Kodak
Rolls Royce
had her
while
in a
mouthing
video?
Kodak's
Hold on.
lyrics, which prompted the video to
Dean Live Arson, Bud Light would be one of the sponsors.
Ah!
That's genius, dude. That was good. But no, literally the entire video was just her.
Yeah, with money or like,
Yeah.
throwing around
Just
money.
like that's it. That it wasn't Kodak wasn't on it. It was just her.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
But no, check it out.
It is.
gain almost 50 million views. On her trip home from LA, Danielle boarded a Spirit Airlines flight where she and her mother got into a fight with a
Of
passenger.
course.
She uses her thing, dude. She uses the thing. And listen to what one of the passengers says.
Is this the Catch Me Outside? Yes.
That is the Catch Me Outside girl.
But as
Because
other
she's saying
camera
Catch Me
angles were
Outside.
released, it seemed like the passenger was
'Cause a lot of
potentially
people
the
started saying
aggressor,
it around
and
that
Danielle
time.
was
yeah.
just defending her mom.
Yo, you're not gonna take all of the ass. You fucking wake up. You want to be black. You don't know nothing.
Danielle and her friends got into another fight with random people one Saturday night in Lake Worth, Florida.
It's Florida, so it's almost acceptable.
Oh, they're fighting.
Yeah.
Then in April, she was cited for possession of marijuana in Boynton Beach. The 14-year-old was unsupervised, out of control, and on top of that
14?
being
I didn't
ridiculed
know
by
that.
random people on the
Dude,
streets.
she
It
was-
a
Dude,
I thought she was an
recipe for
adult
disaster.
by
She
now.
was 13 years old when she went on.
No way.
She's 21 right
She
now.
looked on the show, I thought at least like 17 or so, and
You're
now
not
by
the only
now
one.
18.
You're not the only one.
Whoa.
Dude, she is literally, she's 21 right now.
Okay, so
She
she's
was
a child.
13
Why is she
years
at a
old.
club in Florida?
It's a great question because she's unsupervised. Like, this is a great channel, by the way, Patrick CC.
Okay.
He's the fucking man.
Yeah,
He makes
this is fun.
the greatest, like, the video essays I've ever seen. But, dude, yeah.
Disaster. It also became increasingly obvious that her mother was no longer interested in helping Danielle when she realized
bad
she could make
behavior's
money
good.
from her daughter's
She started to make all this
delinquency.
money.
But despite her bad behavior, she was cultivating a real fan base through YouTube, where she uploaded.
And this, I will say about her, this girl can talk, bro.
Really?
She's got.
Because I thought that was her weakness, was
No,
like
she's
the
got
inability to express what she means,
And that's
other
why she
than by
fights and
just
shit.
saying, catch me
Catch me
outside.
outside. How
and
about
fight."
that? No, she's on it, dude. She has a very unique voice. Let's put
So
it that
when
way.
we're talking quantum
Could
theory,
you imagine?
I would
Oh,
love
that'd
it.
be the best. She has like the really nice British accent.
At the
like that.
subatomic level, that's where things begin to get strange.
Dude, by the way, I heard the most genius thing. It was Trevor Noah, the guy who does the Daily Show now.
Great, genius comedian.
Great comedian.
Yeah.
So he, I swear to God, some of his best material is off air. You know how he does the thing where he shows him just talking to the audience off air. It's like a show like he'll put like on YouTube and stuff.
Yes.
So he was talking to the audience and he's like, so I don't speak any Spanish, right? I'll just do my own accent.
Yeah.
Because there's accents involved. So he's like, I don't speak any Spanish, but I would always say like, oh, no hablo inglés. No hablo inglés. And then he's like, I realized how funny I should be saying, no habla inglés.
Yeah.
No habla
Yeah,
English.
the better you say it, the worse it is. Like, It
Yeah.
seems like you can speak.
And so
a
here's
little
what
bit.
he says. He's
That's
like,
hilarious.
he equates it to saying, if you don't speak English, to saying, I'm sorry there, but I do not speak a lick of English.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't speak any English
What's
at all.
that from where the guy's like, I only know how to say that sentence and the sentence
Family
explaining
Guy.
it.
That's
Okay,
Family Guy.
that's genius.
Yeah, when he's in the back of the truck with the immigrants.
Yeah.
Brian. He was like, no, sorry, I only know how to say this and that. And then he's
Yeah.
like,
And the sentence explaining it.
Yeah, and this explanation. He's like, really? He's like, ¿qué?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. So good. But all right, Danielle Bregoli. Let's see what we got here.
Man,
So
those
she
guys.
started a
Writers.
Yes, she started a YouTube page,
Of course.
based off her
Yeah,
manager's
yeah.
advice, and it blew up, dude. Look at these views. We're not kidding here. 2.7
Oh, millions.
Yeah, 2.2
Millions.
millions of views, bro. Millions.
Did consistent reaction videos showcasing more of her brazen personality that were generating over 1 million views per video.
If you
Well
had a
over.
child and a hose tried you in front of them, what would you do? I would go to my car, turn on my car, put the air on in the car, strap my kid into their seat, and go beat the life out of that.
Her manager also knew that
She's
she had
like
some
13.
rapping
Why
ability.
should
I know.
Let's be
Kid.
honest,
Yeah.
in 2017, at the height of the Lil Pump and Lil Xan era,
It was
you
the
didn't
worst
need
time.
much skill. Plus, influencers like Rice Gum and Jake Paul were gaining unimaginable view counts on their terrible music.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
literally Jake Paul, Rice Gum were fucking
So this is an interesting time period, is what
very
they're saying.
interesting.
Okay.
If this were to happen in any other time, she might not ever have been anything.
It might not have hit.
Yeah.
So it was just right place, right time.
And at this time, she decided to change her name to Bhad Bhabie.
Okay.
That's her rap
So
name.
she does
and her
have
new
a
moniker.
name. Okay.
Yes. So Danielle Bregoli's her birth name, right?
No.
And then the Catch
Bhad
Me Outside
Bhabie
girl,
makes
it
sense.
was the nickname that she was given. And then she changed her name to Bhad Bhabie. Do you remember before I said people have a hard time pronouncing it?
Yeah.
It's spelled, as you guys can see in the title, Bhad, Bhad,
Yeah.
Bhabie.
Okay.
Bhad
so it's
Bhabie.
like
The H is silent.
the Buddhist Sanskrit version of
Buddha,
this
yeah, exactly.
name. Yeah.
The H is silent. Exactly right. So if you know the H is silent, it's very easy.
Yeah.
You just take away the H and it's Bad Baby. Bhad is it's bad. Take away the H, it's bad.
Bhabie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bhabie, it's baby. So anyway,
why?
but people have who's Bhad Bhabie? It's like
yeah, why?
No, not
yeah,
Bhad
you're
Bhabie.
not expecting to see her with that name.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
If you don't know what it says.
Yeah.
Colger proceeded to book studio time for Danielle, but she was
thinking
hesitant
like a
at first. I was like, I
Far
don't want to
East
put these headphones on.
archaeologist.
I don't want to get in this booth. But then she had a change of heart. I was like, I'm prettier than all these people in here. I looked at the people in the room and I was like, I'm better than you. I can do this. I'll be fine. I won't look stupid. Soon
for
she
you.
was in a
Good
meeting
job.
opposite Atan Ben Horan, the global head of artists and repertoire at Warner Music Group. Ben put together a team of 14 writers and producers to work on Danielle's first professional single, Ibid. They started her music rollout with a track called These Hoes, which peaked at number 77 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, making
77.
Danielle the youngest female rap artist to debut on the Hot 100. It also made Baby the third youngest solo artist of all time to chart on the Hot 100, behind JoJo and
She
Stevie Wonder.
charted
The
again?
track
Behind
led to
Stevie,
Danielle signing a record deal with
behind
Atlantic.
Stevie Wonder.
She charted twice.
Yeah.
Oh
her
my
her
goodness.
debut.
Her
Behind
music.
Stevie Wonder.
Of a song called These Hoes, right?
These hoes spelled Hae or Haeeux.
Yeah.
She has a thing with spelling. Yeah, these hawks.
How's anyone gonna find
Like
that?
faux hawk,
Like if you wanted to
faux
search
hoes.
that song up, hey,
You type in Bhad Bhabie, these
Yeah.
hawks.
Yeah, hawks.
It's like, fucking just spell things right, lady.
Yeah, she's exhausting, but it works for her.
It does. Yeah, Danielle Bhad Bhabie Bregoli lands deal with Atlantic fucking Records, my boy.
Atlantic. Dude, that's like
Records.
Justin
One of the biggest
Timberlake
in the world. Oh, yeah,
under
sure.
Roll in
Atlantic.
Peace and T
Yeah.
Grizzly and Lil Yachty's From D to the A. But even her biggest haters could not deny her second debut single, High Bit, which
Banger.
reached number 68 on the
Banger.
Billboard Hot 100, while the music video
It's still
accumulated
going.
over 200 million views since its initial upload. The song was
200
eventually certified
million,
platinum
Jay.
less than 5 months later.
200
Most people on the
million.
internet
200 million views. Her second, or maybe third, I guess, technically.
Like Oprah doesn't get 200 million views on videos.
no,
Like,
bro.
this is crazy.
200 million
I
views
guess
on
'cause
a
the
music
curiosity,
video
right?
by Bhad Bhabie.
It's got to be the curiosity. Remember that girl that said that thing?
Oh, the Catch Me
She
Outside
has
girl?
a song. Oh, I have to see this.
called what is it? Hey bitch.
That was the second one.
And of course, did she spell bitch right? No, because she doesn't spell anything
No.
right. So it's bad B-I-C-H, bad bish,
okay.
or bad bick,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know. Fucking-
Swish, swish, bish.
that's how. Wait, how did you know? We're gonna give you a copyright strike and we're gonna sue
Yeah.
you. That's exactly the
It
song.
just sounds just like that.
Yeah. How'd you do that, Fred?
internet were calling her music trash, but the numbers didn't lie.
No.
Plus, she wasn't afraid of criticism.
She's low key
So now
smart,
she's
okay? I'm not
20.
gonna and say she's smart because she's a little
During this.
bitch.
I'm a little I'm a bitch, but you're the one sitting in the busted ass chair with your busted ass forehead, with your busted ass face, and your busted ass room. So why are you coming for me?
Rappers like Lil Yachty voiced their support for her career, which was followed by a collaboration titled Gucci Flip Flops
With Lil
that
Yachty.
peaked at number 79
That
on
went
the Billboard Hot 100
platinum!
before receiving a
No, it
platinum
did not.
certification.
Stop.
Her string of
Things don't
success
even
led
go
to Bhad
platinum
Bhabie
anymore.
receiving a nomination at the 2018 Billboard Music Awards for Best Female Rap Artist.
What's
alongside
happening?
Nicki Minaj and Cardi
Nominated
B.
for things?
Over the next few
Next
months,
to
Bhabie
Nicki
collaborated with
Minaj and
artists-
Cardi
Stop,
B
stop,
for
stop.
best female hip hop artist.
Nicki Minaj is one of the most most brilliant writers in
Cardi
that
B's
genre.
no slouch.
Yeah, of
Dude,
course.
Bodak Yellow is maybe one of the greatest songs, like female rap
No,
songs
they're
that come out in
both
the past
amazing.
decade.
Yeah, they're both in this genre. The writing is brilliant. I think Minaj is like head and shoulders above everybody.
These is, but
who's
Cardi,
ever
bro,
been.
and especially that song.
Yeah, Cardi's
These is
hilarious.
red bottom. These is blood
Come
issues.
on,
Dude,
that's
that was such a banger.
genius, yeah.
So good. Chase said she washed up with no fake, but she already banged out 100 mil, so she's good.
What?
Oh, fame, yeah. She's washed up with
Is that
no fame,
money-wise?
but she already banged out 100 mil. So he's saying she's washed up, but I don't know. I might disagree with that. Then he says she's evidence that skill and talent mean nothing anymore. It's all about shock factor and curiosity. Like you were saying, the curiosity part.
Yeah, that's there.
It piques
You
interest.
want to see? Yeah. What
But
is this?
I think the curiosity thing to the nth degree, and we'll get there in a second, but literally.
But is he saying? If I'm reading his message,
And you'd like to think
in
that
the
you are.
chat, he's saying she made $100 million.
so
That's crazy money.
she made some money.
That's
we'll
like
talk about it. Hold
David
on.
Cho money from when he, that
That
mural.
one time.
Yeah, come on.
And now he never had to work again.
Yeah.
That's so dope. David Cho's awesome though.
Yeah, he's
if
a
anyone like
great
deserves
person.
that, it's
Yeah.
fucking David
I
Cho.
know, right? What a
He's-
good person.
What just a genuine like human being. So cool.
Yes, human is
Yeah.
is a great way to describe.
Cares about his
humanity.
culture. Yeah, absolutely. Cares about other people. cares-
Traveled the world, traveled the
Dude.
country, seen every state.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool guy.
Such a cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, really interesting.
But if you don't know that story, when
Oh, yeah, tell
Facebook
that
first
story.
started and they had their little office, Sean Parker, who created Napster, heard of
played
this
by Justin
tagger.
Timberlake in Social Network.
Yeah,
his
Justin
character.
Timberlake. Yeah, signed by Atlantic, same label as her.
Chase, stop giving away all my stuff, dude. We're getting there, buddy. We're getting there.
So he knew about this local tagger, David Cho, who would do these murals on the
Dope
walls in
murals.
like Los
Yeah,
Angeles.
yeah.
And he says, let's have him do the office, the first Facebook office. Facebook was not very big at the time. They were still, I think, just in colleges. You had to have a college email address just to sign up for it. So a small company. And they said, we'll either pay you 60 grand, which is a lot of money for just
For a
a
mural.
spray painted mural, or we'll give you 60,000 in shares of Facebook stock. And when those shares went public,
He took the stock.
it was worth $200 million. He got paid $200 million to do a mural in an office.
Yep.
David Cho.
Yep.
That's
because
a great story.
he chose not to
Yeah.
take the 60,000
Yeah.
and to gamble on.
It was the
company.
long term. Yeah, he didn't sell
But
for the
what if the
short
company
term
never went anywhere?
payout.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a gamble.
What if it is a huge gamble?
But it's brilliant.
It's a huge gamble.
He saw
his foresight. Yeah.
Yeah.
God bless him. Good for him.
saw something there.
So, speaking of shock value, like you and Chase were saying in the curiosity thing, someone else started getting popular around this time. Her name was Whoa Vicky.
Okay.
Have you heard of Whoa Vicky?
It sounds familiar, but no. I would say if you told me, well, what does she do? I wouldn't know.
So,
Whoa, Vicky.
yeah. So, she is a young white girl who talks with the black scent.
Okay.
But she, just like Danielle, a lot like Danielle Bregoli, like Bhad Bhabie does, right? But the difference is she claims that she is black.
Oh.
Clearly a young white lady.
Okay.
But she claims...
And her parents are both white.
Both white. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. She's almost like a Rachel Dolezal type. Remember the Dolezal girl?
No.
The woman the white girl who like put like tanner on and curled her hair and said, "I'm a black woman."
No.
Yeah,
I don't know this
like
story.
how gay people can identify as, or I'm sorry, how like people can
yeah.
identify as a man or woman.
Okay.
She identifies as a black
Okay,
woman.
so we're getting into like that territory. Okay.
We're not getting in there. That's where they went.
I see what you're saying though.
And then this Whoa Vicky girl is like, I'm like, so there was a little beef. They're like, oh, these two should
That's
fight.
fun.
And then there was a little beef. And so one day Danielle's at the recording studio and making one of her bangers, and she tells Whoa Vicky to roll up, and she does, and they get into a little scuffle.
No way.
Yeah.
And they filmed it?
Yeah, of course. It's a bunch of grown men filming two young, like 14-year-old girls fight.
Yeah, she's like a kid at this time.
Oh. Your ass beat. You stupid. You came here and got beat up. You dumb as hell. That'll be.
Whatever they're saying.
Whoever is speaking,
Yeah.
even. They sound the fucking same.
So who was on top?
Whoa Vicky.
Oh.
Who's older than her, but Danielle was talking a big
Well, she
game.
should have caught her outside.
How about that?
Maybe she would have won.
Yeah, I know. Danielle, never fight inside,
Don't
sweetie.
ignore fight.
Yeah.
That's your thing.
Didn't work in the airplane, but when you were outside in Miami, you were
That
doing
might be your
great.
thing, yeah.
Stay outside. How about that? So
Oh, yeah.
then, so she got in this crazy beef with Whoa Vicky, and they had that.
Well, after
little
that, now did
wrestling
they
match.
like do like a rap battle or anything?
I wish. No, I
that'd
don't know
be
if Whoa
great.
Vicky raps, but
Oh, she doesn't rap.
no,
So
I
why
don't
was she
think
at the
so.
studio? What was she doing? Just a fight? Was she like an internet personality? Like
I think
who's
no.
Whoa
I
Vic-
think Danielle told her to show up to fight, and she
Okay.
did.
Yeah.
and she did. How about that? They also had a previous altercation where they showed up with someone else that I'm probably going to be talking about in the future, and they showed up and they just screamed at each other, and it was very childish and ridiculous. But then
Yeah.
this young lady named Hannah comes out about the Turnabout Ranch and says she was SA'd at the Turnabout Ranch.
Oh no, yeah, those places again, they get bad reputations for stuff like this.
Yeah. So then Bhad Bhabie, Danielle Bregoli, came out and she's like, I got to talk about this, right? So
Yeah.
she does. So let's watch that real quick.
Oh shoot, does she claim that is what, or that she saw anything?
She sure does.
Oh wow.
And it's actually fucking crazy what she said.
Yeah,
she
those
saw.
places you shouldn't say.
They're not okay. Yeah. I don't know about all of them, obviously. I just
They've
know-
done so many psychological experiments where they put people in charge of other people, and it's always this. It's always they go too far.
Yeah.
It's very sadistic.
Yeah. Here's Whoa Vicky and the beef.
Screaming and standing behind grown men, pretending like they actually wanted to fight.
Come on, touch me. I want you to hit me. Hit me. Hit me.
There's Whoa Vicky.
Hit me. Come on. If you hit me, you're not hit me. I'm right here. I'm right here. You coming at me, so you hit me.
Notice the 6-year-old.
Okay. Yeah.
Hit me.
Well, she's little.
Make it bad.
This
Yeah.
was huge news at
Well,
the time.
they have bodyguards
This would
that are
not
like
be their
6'5".
final
That's
battle.
true.
Danielle announced a
Yeah.
6
So
And yeah, comparatively,
yeah. So anyway, then so she's talking about the Turnabout Ranch, right? And here's what she has to say, dude. It's actually pretty sick, pretty fucked up. Here
oh
we go.
no.
Yeah, she saw some shit there.
have been hundreds, thousands of reports of staff members abusing, hazing, humiliating, sleep depriving, sexually assaulting, drugging, and doing some of the most horrific things to these teenagers. Danielle experienced and witnessed similar horrors during her time there when she was just 13
That's
years
what the ranch
old.
looks like?
The worst of all was witnessing a murder.
What?
One morning I was cleaning up for breakfast, and one of the staff members was sitting right next to me, and she had her walkie on her, so I heard everything. One of the kids, he had tried to steal a car or something. Everyone was screaming on the walkies like it was really crazy, and he ended up killing one of the staff members. They made all the kids that were at Roundy come down, and then they told us not to tell us anything. A day later, they have us all, every kid that's at Turnabout, they have us all sit in a circle, and they're like, listen, there was an incident, I know some of y'all heard it over the walkies, Jimmy died.
And you would think that with such appalling accusations that Dr. Phil would denounce the Turnabout Ranch.
We don't have anything to do with what happens with guests once they leave
Oh,
the
it's
stage.
his-
I mean,
But he
His
just played
ranch?
dumb. However, Danielle proved that
No.
Dr. Phil is in
okay.
fact involved with the people he sends there after
But-
the show.
My
He is
mother
involved.
signed a
So
consent
yeah.
of release of information to send progress reports directly from Turnabout to the Dr. Phil show. So when you say you don't have any fucking feedback from them, that is not true.
Danielle added that she doesn't believe that Dr. Phil is
Dr.
unaware
Phil,
of what
man,
really
no.
happens behind closed doors at the ranch. Plus, a murder did take place at this
I
ranch.
don't like
you
it.
would think that at the very least Dr. Phil would stop recommending it as a precautionary
Right.
measure,
I'm
but he
assuming
continues
he
to
did.
praise the ranch.
we sent this young woman to Turnabout Ranch, which is a very
It's the best
serious,
place, dude. You're
responsible
Yeah,
place for
come
kids
on.
to go to get their values straight and get their heads on right. Try to be an emotional compass and point parents in a direction.
What fucking direction is that? Sexual abuse, murders, and fucking torture? That's the direction?
I didn't know
Oh,
she'd,
that's
like, be cut
phenomenal.
in with
Starting
it.
with
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
parents,
This is her
having kids
reacting
watch
to
somebody
it.
get murdered,
She put on
having
her
them get
YouTube.
sexually assaulted and having them get tortured. They'll come out great.
Even if Dr. Phil is innocent,
Oh.
maybe he should consider investigating these facilities before
Yes.
using his massive platform to endorse them, which is why people conspire that he
Judges
might
do
have
that
something
kind of
started to
stuff, like
change.
send kids to
She was
places like that
13.
sometimes.
Wow, this is 100%
So then,
Phil to send to the camp.
something
It was after
changes.
the
After this,
Yeah.
I'll explain it right now. People started sympathizing with her a little bit.
Yeah.
expose
of
that
course.
the narrative surrounding Danielle's Dr. Phil episode and her whole persona started to change. She was 13. Wow, this is 100% bad parenting on the mom's part. I feel like Danielle was wronged her whole life. Also, she was 13 years old, and to be judged and hated like this instead of loved and nurtured on national television.
Yeah.
That's just setting her up. All
Yeah,
this time I
sending
thought
your
this
kid
child was
on
crazy.
national
Now I
television to show
realize.
how shitty they are is
Danielle
it's gonna mess them up a little bit.
Yeah.
Bhad
But
Bhabie
she made a
was
bunch of
broke.
money.
Nobody was interested in her music
Those
anymore.
parents are
She had
interesting.
exhausted all of her antics to get attention, and she potentially burned bridges with people who could have helped her music career. Now she was only being seen as any other influencer on the internet. There was only one thing left to do to make a big bag. On April 1st,
Big bag.
Yeah. So only one thing to do. I wonder what it is.
Oh no!
It's not this, I promise.
The night you
Yeah,
turned
no,
18,
I feel like I know where this is going.
The night you turned 18.
registered to vote.
That's not what I thought you was gonna say.
Yeah,
Oh, you thought I was
right.
gonna say join the military.
No, I was gonna say is when I joined OnlyFans.
You joined
I-
OnlyFans the night you turned 18,
I think so, yeah.
and people subscribed right away.
Yeah.
Should they be in jail?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do
She said,
is I
yeah.
want you to describe to me
Yeah.
what your average fan looks like. And I'm
You.
Yeah, right.
But take it slow. I'm not a fast drawer.
I feel like they're like 20 to 40 years old.
40.
Probably like a white man
Yeah.
that's like married.
Yeah. I
with,
like how they
six
keep cutting
kids,
away.
Yeah, yeah,
definitely
yeah.
has like a daughter
Yeah.
that's my age.
Bhad Bhabie, the Cash Me Outside girl from Dr.
Check
Phil,
this
is
out.
now worth over $52 million. Whilst her claims at first seemed like unproven bragging, she also posted receipts to prove it's true, along with the caption to go cry
Receipts?
about it, including making $1 million in her first 6 hours on OnlyFans. She also recently bought a $6 million
What?
house in Miami in cash. But despite rising to fame from Dr. Phil from the catchphrase Cash Me
As a
Outside, she
13-year-old.
no longer wants to be known as the Cash Me Outside girl because she's become more successful on her own. Telling
Dude. So, mind you, when he's saying that, that was just one time that happened. That was her showing the $52 million. She's been on OnlyFans longer than that. Plus all the money
That
she's
was
made
the
with the
first
music.
6
with her,
hours, she said.
yeah, $1 million, over $1 million in the first 6
Yeah.
hours. $52 million. And people were like, bullshit. And she's like, here's the
No,
proof.
here,
That's just
I actually
OnlyFans.
did.
Forget the platinum records. Forget
She
all the
charted 3
appearances.
times.
Forget the fucking world tour.
No.
Or national tour. North America.
What about the videos, the YouTube
music videos,
and all the payments,
the YouTube
from
monetization,
that kind of views?
So when he said $100 million, oh yeah, she's well over $100 million.
Oh, what the hell?
Multiple homes, multiple cars.
At what cost?
Her soul.
Yeah,
No,
that's like totally crossroads type stuff.
What the fuck are we talking about? Something, my people. We were just talking about Danielle Bregoli, Bhad Bhabie. So the day she turned 18, well, 6 days after she turned 18, she created an OnlyFans and made over $1 million in the first 6 hours. So what does that mean, Jared?
That means
people were
we've lost faith in
fantasizing
humanity.
about a girl who wasn't 18, and the moment she was,
they had a chance. They
They
took
jumped on it.
Oh my goodness!
and so I think she's the most successful OnlyFans person.
Ugh,
Hopefully,
I
because if
don't
anyone's
think
making
so.
any fucking more than that,
I've heard.
oh no, it's that not Black China, but someone with a similar name.
There's
is the
somebody that
guy.
Joe Rogan talked about who she.
I think we're talking about the same person.
Yeah, I guess she dresses up as characters from anime or something like that, and she makes like I think it was in something like 6 months. She made $200 million or something like that. He said, "Yeah."
In 6
like,
months?
Yeah.
In 6 months,
Like
though?
that's what she claimed, that in just 6 months she had made $200 million. That was her most successful, like 6 months or whatever. That's just, and she's been doing it for years.
Jesus.
Yeah. So there's.
She has all the monies.
Yeah. We're talking
her
like
be the
some
first
famous
OF
people are on there.
billionaire.
People that had fame like her, like that had some sort of fame that go on there.
Yeah.
They don't even make that kind of money.
She's making fucking
hundreds of
cash.
millions.
That's insane.
Oof.
So that's Danielle Bregoli, Bhad Bhabie.
That's
as
a
we
good
know her
choice
now.
of a topic to
Just
wow.
crazy story, huh?
I did not know any of this.
She turned 6 words into a fucking multi-million-dollar empire.
Yeah, but again, at what cost? She had to go to that farm.
Yeah.
She is now, obviously, she's chosen this profession.
Yeah, but now she's settled down. She's having a kid. Take that as
Good.
you will. But
Yeah,
she seems
all
like
right,
she's
well.
so. But she's very self-aware. She's like,
Good.
I did my thing. I got my bag, and now I'm chilling. Now I'm starting a family and shit.
Yeah.
she's very self-aware. So it was pretty calculated. All the steps she took, mind you. That manager finding her early was a big help. His foresight was everything.
Yeah.
He knew this girl can be
That
something,
she was-
and he made her something. He got brand deals and
You
sponsorships.
can make money from her, yeah.
He got, paid appearances.
Oh, dude, how much has he made? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
As a manager,
Oh, he's getting a good
They
chunk.
get what, like 6%? And when she first starts out, I'm sure the deal was way.
Oh yeah,
he probably
lopsided.
took like 25.
Oh, it was for sure
or
lopsided.
30. Or,
I'm the person in the industry,
right.
bitch. Yeah, who are you?
You need
Yeah, yeah,
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
really, other
shoot.
way around.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's the funny like dichotomy of that. But so that's what I got. Let's read this chat and we'll hop into your stuff. The same girl that you said made 200 mil changed her whole image and is trying to change it. No, you get the 200 million, and that's all you get ever. Be seen as an OnlyFans whore. D Livewire with the $20
Oh, yeah. Look at
donation,
that.
my
Thank
boy.
you, sir.
Entertainment 101. He has good comments.
That's a good
too with that.
compliment. Thank
yeah,
you.
that's a great compliment.
No,
Thank
what
you,
an
sir.
entertaining segment.
Thank you. Yeah, that was fun.
I did not know any of that.
It's fascinating.
It is
stuff.
fascinating.
I know. D Livewire, you're the fucking man.
That's the show. Is whatever we find fascinating.
That's it.
That's the show. And so, thank you.
That's the show.
That was good.
Yeah.
That's very Seinfeld, I know, but
Yeah.
But that was fascinating. I'm glad that you told that story.
So you know what else is fascinating? Past lives, unconscious, collective unconsciousness. What are we talking about, Jared? Let's dive in.
Yeah, let's dive in. So yeah, I want to talk a little bit about what is called the collective unconscious or the Akashic Records. These are very similar concepts, and the Akashic Records is more of like a Eastern Asian type. I mean, it comes from ancient Sanskrit, ancient Buddhism. But
So you
yeah.
said unconscious,
Yes.
collective unconscious. Isn't it collective conscious? That's what we've all heard.
A lot of people say
consciousness.
collective consciousness. What a collective consciousness is when a group of people have the same beliefs. The collective unconscious is this network of information that is bound throughout the entire universe.
Okay.
It is the fifth element, if you will, the ether.
Why does Billy Carson say it wrong then?
I'm surprised to hear that he says it wrong because
Yeah, he says
collective
collective
consciousness is a very specific term. It's like when a group of people all believe the same thing.
Okay.
That the collective
That makes sense.
unconscious, right, is what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
Tapping into the Akashic Records. So where does that come from? What is the Akashic Records?
Yeah, what is that?
It comes from the word Akash, which ancient Sanskrit means the ether. And last week we had talked about what the Egyptians called the net.
Yeah.
Right?
The force, basically,
And the
Yeah.
platonic solids. And the fifth platonic solid, the dodecahedron,
ether.
was the ether.
Yeah.
So this all ties in together. So the ancient Buddhists and the Egyptians both believed in the same thing. They just
Yeah.
called it something different.
Yeah.
Star Wars calls it the Force.
And even Greeks, they basically
Plato
basically took it from Egypt,
yeah,
right?
from the mystics in Egypt.
So it started there, but it kept going. All right.
Yeah. So
John says, hopefully hours change. We'll be listening soon. Hopefully hours change. Like the Borg. I don't know. Thank you, John.
Oh, like his hours, like work hours, maybe.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
So that he can
so
catch
he could
the
be
live.
on it. My
Yeah.
man, you're the best, John. Thanks for hopping on.
Good
Appreciate
man.
you, brother.
Yeah. So we had talked about the Jedi, the actual Jedi that came from ancient Egypt, and they believed in this net and this fifth element, which was the ether, the dodecahedron.
Yeah.
Tesla, he believed in the ether. He believed that there was this energy source that penetrated all things and that bound all things.
Was Tesla involved in like the ether?
Yeah, he was
that's something
trying
he
to
looked into.
He
Wow,
thought
I didn't know that.
if you could tap into it as an energy source, that you would have this free wireless energy.
Yeah, it makes so much sense that he would look into that.
Right.
Not only basing his on the pyramids. Wardenclyffe. No, basically, yeah. So we know he's a fan of ancient Egypt and their technology.
Oh yeah, and
So
he believed in
it's
the
funny
ether.
that he believes in the ether. It makes perfect sense.
And the ether's very mystical or esoteric. Now scientists call this 0 point. It's the 0 point energy field.
So it's always been around. We've
Yeah.
always had a term for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
all
every
civilizations
civilization.
believe in ancient civilizations believed in some force that we couldn't see in a dimension that we couldn't, that wasn't in our
We couldn't
three
perceive.
dimensions.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
It was this fifth dimension,
Yeah.
the dodecahedron. So the fifth platonic solid. So it kind of relates to what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
So that's the Akash. The Akash is the net, or the Jedi call it in Star Wars, the Force. The Akashic Records. Now, what is this?
Yeah.
So the ancient Buddhists believe that all knowledge, past, present, and future, is all stored
Simultaneous.
in these Akashic Records. It's like a library. It is like this invisible library that sits in this ether, and that if you could tap into it, you would be able to tap into all knowledge everywhere that's ever been, meaning future events.
Yeah.
You could see the past.
It's all simultaneous,
The
yeah. You
present
could tap in.
somewhere, of some distant present somewhere else. And there's stories of these ancient Buddhist
So what do
monks.
they meditate and they can tap into it? Or?
Yeah, so most people that believe that they can tap into it, and the way that the ancient Buddhists describe that they would tap into it is through meditation. Yeah. So that they would have to reach this level of consciousness, aligning all their chakras to get to this fifth dimension.
Isn't that why they like hum? Is you want to do the frequency of Earth?
Frequency, exactly. So
Right.
yeah, a lot of people believe that these different dimensions are different frequencies, right? And so we exist in this three-dimensional reality on this frequency.
Yeah.
But there are other three-dimensional realities sitting right on top of us that are a different frequency.
Yeah.
And there are other dimensions up to, I think right now string theorists believe 11. That we can't perceive in our three-dimensional reality, but that do exist, and they exist on different frequencies.
Okay.
Tesla used to talk about this. The key to the universe was through frequency and vibration, right? He believed in it so much that he built a machine that could essentially, had he gotten more funding, tap the 0 point field.
Had Edison not fucked him.
No, it was
Who'd
J.P.
I say?
Morgan.
Yeah.
Edison, yeah.
Well, Edison stole a bunch of his.
He worked with Edison. Edison felt entitled to a lot of his breakthroughs, I would say.
John said reality stone when you were talking about the.
I like that.
That's great.
So the ancient, the ancient Buddhists, they were called the Shen, whereas the ancient Egyptians had the Jedi.
The Jed.
These were the Shen. Yeah, the Jed. Yeah,
I love it.
These were the Shen.
Crazy.
The Shen were the purveyors of this knowledge and these teachings on how to reach this fifth dimension, this ether, and tap into it.
Our boy, real quick, Chase with the donation. Proof of death. This is lit.
Look at the audience today. You guys are the best.
Yeah, seriously. Thank you guys.
All
Rock
right,
and
so.
roll. Akasha.
How do we know that
got
this
you.
exists? Like what kind of proof do we have? I think there's I think a lot of people tap into the Akashic Records or into the Akash all the time throughout the day. Anytime.
So the Akashic Records aren't a physical thing. It's
metaphysical.
Yeah,
it's a metaphysical idea. Yeah, it is
a concept. Yeah,
but what's interesting about it is you can tap into it and physically use it as a source of energy, of power. So because it does exist out there. It is like DeLong describes it as what powers the atom itself. Scientists that work in the 0 point energy
field, whatever.
Yeah, they're trying to tap into that. So they see it as a physical nuts and bolts thing that they can harness.
Okay.
Whereas the mystics and the Shen and the Jed, and the Jedi, they would see this more as a quest for knowledge, right? And a way to learn about the secrets of the universe.
Okay.
Pretty cool stuff, right?
Yeah.
And usually these guys aren't seeking
this
power.
This is like science fiction shit, dude. Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, Star Wars literally based like the whole Force and Jedi and everything.
And what could they do with it when they were tapping into the Force? Luke was able to see events happening somewhere far off in another planet that he wasn't when he was meditating.
They would be able to feel, this person I love is in danger.
Yeah.
They would be able to move
When
shit
somebody
with their
got
mind.
hurt
They could
or
push
died.
something. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yes, telekinesis.
And then even they would come back, if you only light side could do this, but they could come back as Force ghosts.
Yeah. So that to access it, and remember how Yoda tells, I think it's Obi-Wan, you could talk to your old master and I'll teach you how to do it. Yeah. So that would be through the Force accessing this dimension to be able to speak to a soul that's now in the Akash.
In the ether.
In the ether, right.
Akash.
No energy is destroyed. Where does it go? A lot of people believe we have souls, right?
That's what Terrence Howard was actually talking about on Rogan, which we talked about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So where would the soul go after you die? It would go into the ether. This is where all beings, everywhere in the universe, all experiences that you have are all stored here in the Akashic Records.
Yeah.
Every moment, past, present, and future, it's all there. So that's where earlier we talked about this simultaneous stimulation where two people can have the same idea at the same time or invent something at the same time or write a song that just comes to them from somewhere else. That's the Akashic Records. So that's how you tap into this energy.
Yeah.
And all of us can do it. All human beings, any conscious being, if you can tap into your consciousness and elevate your energy, you can reach these other dimensions and you can reach this information. So
imagine if I was able to do it, how sick would that be?
So yeah, most of the guys that do this stuff, they're not seeking power. But if you were one of those that could tap into this, how would you use it to better your situation?
Yeah. So honestly, I love knowledge. I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday. This guest told me that she even said I might be one of the most interesting people she's met this year.
That's interesting.
She said you're very fascinating. She said you have so much knowledge. You're very well spoken.
Yeah.
She asked like what schools I went to and stuff. And I said honestly, my biggest teachers were films.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said I love like something I would do, and I'm just tooting my own horn here, but I have a point. And something I would do is I would read the thesaurus after I was done with like classwork. I would say, what's a word I say too often? And I would look for something that, find
like a synonym for it so that you weren't using it too much.
So I'm like, oh, what do I say?
I
I say talkative. What could I say? Loquacious, I'll start saying. So I would just find words.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
like
she's like, she's like, yeah, it's super fascinating. But I find knowledge important. So what I would do is I would want answers, and I would share those answers. I don't know if it would be for personal wealth, like potentially, but I would want to be like, guys, I know how they built the pyramids, baby.
Right.
Check it out.
Yeah.
I would gather knowledge.
Have you heard the ancient tales of the Jed that would lift the stones out of the quarry and change their the actual density of the stone, shape it, and then move it,
and then put it
together? They would use
never
the
heard
net.
of it.
That'd be funny. Because 500 miles away, and how are you getting it there, and how are you shaping it to a degree that's...
Dude, if you say that, and it sounds insane, but if you say that the Egyptians used the force to build the pyramids, it actually makes so much sense.
No, it's
as crazy
it makes just as much sense to me as any other theory out there.
As fictional as it may sound, if I mean, we don't know how they built it.
Yeah, no.
If we're saying that this is something they studied, that they liked, they studied the net or the force or the Akashic Records, Akashic.
The Akashic Records. The Akash is the force. Yeah.
And they'd study the
which means
Akash.
the ether. Yeah, just the ether. Yeah.
They studied the ether. If that's how they were able to build the pyramids, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They were able to be Jedi and fucking move shit with their hand.
And if you could do it metaphysically, tap into it, then you would build a device that could tap into it for you as an energy source. Yeah. And the pyramids are supposed to have been an energy
it even
source.
Fucking explains why there is, like, say Thoth and none of that stuff. We take all of that out of the equation. It would make sense why in South America they have pyramids that look like pyramids over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like people are tapping into this collective unconsciousness.
That's a great point. So let's pretend that all of these civilizations didn't have contact with each other, and weren't taught by the same teachers.
Yes.
Then yes, I think the Akashic Records is a great way to say, how did they all come up with the same ideas around the same time?
To explain that away.
And why do they all have the same stories? Why do they all believe in the ether? All of them. Why do they all believe that
someone came in on this flying? Yeah, exactly.
Why?
Yeah.
How would that happen unless
fiery chariot or dragon?
It's this spontaneous access to the ether, or it really happened, and some physical being showed them how to use it.
And it was always the shamans or the witch doctors or the priests, whatever you want to call them, that would tell their civilizations, this is what happens. These are the things that. Yeah. So if these guys, the monks, whatever, right, were the ones able to tap in,
the most knowledgeable amongst you.
Yeah.
The ones who
told everyone else. Yeah.
Yep.
Guys, this is how we're going to build
the verbal
this.
history is passed down for generations and generations and generations. The teachings passed down for
generations. You don't
generations.
need every single one in the civilization to be tapped into the fucking net.
No, only
you just need one dude saying, "Hey guys, this, that."
And then he has an apprentice, and there's a small group that shares it. Yeah, we watched a video of a guy who would use his chi force, which comes from this Akash. To light things on fire by touching them.
To electrocute people.
Yeah. To heal them.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of healers are using the Akash.
To electrocute people, period, next sentence. And to heal people.
Right.
Yeah.
It was not to hurt them. Yeah. This is always used in a positive way. These are the people that learn this stuff.
Wild.
And it makes sense that if you spent all of your life learning these or pursuing something like this, that you would be
And to our point that we were just making before, when he showed all these Westerners about this stuff, what happened? His master came to him as a force ghost, basically. Told him to stop doing it.
It's like, dude, you can't share this stuff with everybody because it would be dangerous in the wrong hands.
Absolutely.
Every civilization had their people that their Shen or their Jedi. Yeah. They didn't teach it to everybody.
Dude, it's like, bro, you know how many thousands of years we've been keeping this shit secret, and you go show these guys on camera?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You're crazy, yeah.
Not only am I mad at you, look at all these other people that are mad. There's
the
Egyptians.
Like the Black Panther plane.
Yes.
Yeah, all the Panthers
Soul
show
plane.
up. Yeah. Hey, man, stop showing us.
Which goes back to our Marvel Minute, which even goes back to John saying Reality Stone. Revolution.
Nice.
Revolution.
It's all connected.
It's very mustard, above the shoulders, very acidic.
So let's get into examples of people who supposedly were able to tap into the Akashic Records. So now the ancient Buddhists and the Egyptians that could tap into it, we have stories about them.
I know where we're going with this now.
But we have recent stories, turn of the century stories, right? Because this is when these Eastern concepts started making their way to the West, was turn of the century, right?
Yes.
So there are a few people that had this ability. And they would use, and I'll tell you how they used it. So let's get into the first example of somebody here.
Okay.
Her name is Baba Vanga.
Baba Vanga, and this is the first example of somebody using the
Akashic Records, who was able to tap into the Akash and use it to see the future. They could see the past, the present, and the future.
They were able to tap into the Akashic Records to see which is the ether, which is the force, the net, whatever.
Yep.
And the ether, they're able to tap in to see time is basically simultaneous there.
Everything.
So able to see. Okay.
In
so
fact,
what did this?
Her specific claim.
We have a picture of this person.
Yes. Let's pull that up.
Okay.
Her specific claim was that she could meet somebody and see their entire life from birth to death when she met them. Now, if you look at her eyes in this picture, she's blind.
Yeah, why is...
So when she was a child, she was swept up in a tornado and almost killed. The sand and the destruction that happened to her eyes when she got caught up in that tornado left her blind, and it damaged her.
Oh, wow.
But it was after this event where she started to have these visions. So she's blind.
So losing one sense opened her up
Yeah.
maybe in another way.
Not just blind, she was also illiterate, barely literate. So you're talking about a person that can't see
and can't read,
has no news source, no television, and can't read, no access to information at a time where there is no internet.
So if you were to make an assumption, you'd be like, okay, this woman probably doesn't have all the knowledge in the world. She's probably not the smartest lady alive, right?
Right. You would assume that she wouldn't be able to make predictions.
She's clearly not well read,
right?
Because she can't fucking read,
Yeah.
hardly. So okay,
yeah,
go on.
And she
Baba
wasn't.
Vanga.
Yeah. So this is she's from Bulgaria, and again, this is turn of the century, I think early 20s. Okay. So this is a younger photo of her, and go down. They used to call her Grandma Vanga. And she would make predictions for people, for the locals. But she would know how people were going to die. She also made a few interesting predictions that all came true. She had predicted the 9/11 attacks on the Twin Towers.
What?
Very specifically, yep. She predicted that the United States would have a 44th president who was African American, and that the country would put all of their hope into him. What was his campaign slogan? And remember it was the hope. No, it was
who are we talking
picture. The 44th president, Obama.
Oh, yeah.
The first African American president. No, it was the hope pictures.
That was one of them too.
Yeah,
with the blue, the red.
Yeah.
Blue,
those, however they did the picture, but it was always him with the word hope, but it was just funny that specifically she said that the country would put all of their hope into him, and our first African American president would be the 44th president, and she was right.
That's insane.
She said the specific.
Yeah. Wait, why does she look like this?
That's her as an old woman. That's Grandma Vanga.
What's up? That's not a normal grandma, bub. What's up?
There's people surrounding her.
No. What's up with her fucking face?
Well, she was swept up in a tornado. I don't know. She's old. This is very old. She's very old.
But it's not like she's wrinkled. She's like mangled.
Her eyes are closed. Yeah, I mean,
do you not see something wrong with this? Okay, see that? Yep. That's a human being, right? It's just maybe the
tornado happened when she was a child. So this is her maybe in her teens or 20s.
Sure.
Okay.
So the image is a bit bright, so we can't see all the features of her nose and stuff, which is fine.
Right.
But what's up here, man?
I don't. It just
looks like
an
she's
old
wearing
lady.
a fucking mask. What do you mean?
That's funny.
It looks like she's wearing the mask from Valentine's Day.
I don't. Baby, yeah.
You know the baby mask thing or whatever?
Yeah. I didn't notice anything weird, but yes,
with
you're
that
right.
picture,
her face does look weird.
That's not a normal. Like when I think of my grandma, she never looked like that at a moment in her life.
I mean, this is kind of a still shot of like anybody can do like a weird face and get
but
caught
like,
in.
No,
a still
but like,
moment.
where's the wrinkles? It's like, did she have plastic surgery? Anyway, it looks like her face is like plastic.
It just might be a bad
looks
photo.
Looks like a mask. Okay. All right.
Because that's it's, and I'm sure there's other photos of her older, like as an old woman that look better than that. But that's the one I got for you. But they called her Grandma Vanga.
Okay.
So she predicted the 44th president of the United States being African American. She predicted the exact date of an earthquake and tsunami event in Indonesia that did end up happening. And it killed over 200,000 people. So she would use her access. And it's interesting that her access to the Akashic Records happened after this event where she lost her eyesight. So that sense was taken away.
Yeah.
And that she was obviously thrown around and it caused damage.
Oh, I just realized what John was saying of like the Borg from Star Trek.
Yeah.
You know how they all tapped in? They have one like hive mind.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's
Very
funny.
clever.
Yeah, that's good.
He said that right when we were talking about it. Anyway.
So yeah, imagine, I think that's a great actual description of what the Akashic Records are. All of us are always tapped into it. It's like
a hive mind,
having a string attached to you at all times, connecting you to this fifth dimension. And everything that you do throughout your life, even things you haven't done yet, are all recorded there. Yeah.
Like what people think God or Santa Claus do. I'm not saying they're alike in any way, but he keeps a list. Like you tell your kid, hey, Santa's not going to give you a gift. He's keeping a list, checking it twice. If you fuck up, he's writing that down.
That's funny you say that. I've heard in discussions about the Akashic Records, I've heard people make that claim that when you die, when you get to the pearly gates, do they pull up the Akashic Record? And,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, and go through.
Yeah.
Hey, do you remember you did this, and this?
Yeah.
So that's Baba Vanga.
It's like also real quick.
Yeah.
When you mentioned Baba Vanga at first, I was thinking of Unbreakable. He doesn't see your entire life, but he sees like the bad shit you did. Like, oh, you stole that necklace. Remember when he touches someone? Because you said when she touches, she can see like the whole life. He would stand by and
Unbreakable.
Yeah,
that's such a cool thing.
It's the best movie. But they walk by and
that's a cool power. Yeah,
it's so cool. Dude, that movie's so good.
Yeah,
so good. M. Night Shyamalan's best movie is what? It's probably Sixth Sense.
It's Sixth Sense. Yeah. It has to be.
Second though is, I think we're gonna differ here. If you say The Village, I'm gonna lose my shit.
So The Village is third for me.
Okay, fair. I think it's crazy.
Dude,
but
I think so. Unbreakable and Split are brilliant, and they're both to me just as good as each other.
Unbreakable's far superior.
Split, dude. The acting and the different characters.
No, McAvoy's brilliant, but
no, dude,
it's nothing.
I think
the whole film of Unbreakable is perfect.
I don't think that they're better than the final chapter, Glass. I think
the
that
worst
is
one.
I think that's the best one. I think it's second.
Cool.
I think that's his second best film.
Yeah, we go like this.
It's Lady in the Water and then Glass.
Lady in the Water is by far his worst. The Village.
That shouldn't even be a movie.
It isn't.
Why is that even there? Yeah, it's not real.
Canonically, it's not. It doesn't exist.
It should be removed from the
I have one
Akash.
big arm and one skinny arm. What is happening?
No one knows.
And then the one character who narrates everything. This is the part in the movie where I escape from. It's like, what are you doing?
Dude, you're right.
The whole
I
movie's
forgot
insane.
how horrible
the
that
whole movie's
is.
insane.
That's
and then
funny.
The actor who plays the character where they say you're gonna change the world, you're gonna be amazing, is played by M. Night fucking Shyamalan.
Yeah. He always
it's the
throws himself
craziest movie.
Yeah.
But no,
I like to buy a security system. I just did this to be in the film.
Yeah, and same with by the way, my point was Signs, I think, is his second best.
Signs is way good.
And then
Jessica
Unbreakable.
would agree with you. Jessica thinks Signs is
Really?
one of the best sci-fi movies there is.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? And I just realized this last time I watched Unbreakable, which was fairly recently, matter of fact. In both Unbreakable and Signs, what do they have in common? What is the weakness that both the aliens and Bruce Willis have in common? Their weakness is water.
Oh, I didn't know that about Signs. I don't remember that.
You don't remember the weakness being water?
That well.
That's why when the girl left all the water glasses out there, Meryl would swing away and
that's cool.
Hit the water. And
I thought I was thinking, what's when they come to Earth and it's our atmosphere kills them. All
War
of
of the
our
Worlds.
diseases.
War of the Worlds.
I
Which
love
makes
that.
but that's H.G. Wells being a genius, though.
That's
that makes so
genius.
much sense that they wouldn't have the antibodies and shit that we would have, so they would get sick.
Yeah,
it's so smart.
So let's think about that. Where do these ideas come from? When people come up with things that have never been done before, ideas that have never been done. No, we don't see that anymore. Everything is something that's been done. It's a remake of something,
and that's even a phrase now. Everything's been done. Just do it better, do it different. Right?
That's how. Yeah, that's Hollywood today. That's a lot of entertainment today is just copies of other things. But at some point, the origin of these ideas and some of the origins of technology, these breakthroughs,
Flux capacitor, man. It just came to him.
Einstein said theory of relativity literally just came to him.
I think that's what Doc Brown's thing was based off, right? When he said he was hanging a picture, he fell in the bathroom and he hit his head.
So here we go. This is I love this point. So what happened to this woman where all of a sudden she could tap into the Akashic Records?
Oh, it was
swept up by a tornado.
event.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lost her eyesight and had these horrible injuries, right?
Yeah.
So let's get to our next person who was able to tap into the Akashic Records.
Okay.
His name was Edgar Casey.
We have a
And
picture
some of you
of
in
this
the
guy?
chat might know who Edgar Casey is. Yeah, let's pull him up.
I've heard this name.
He is known as the Sleeping Prophet.
Yeah.
So
Look at this
there he is. Again, turn of the century. And I think why so many people are from this time period able to do it, or I think it's just because that's when we became aware of what it was called. But there have always been mystics and psychics and people that could see the future. Nostradamus, let's say, he would have been tapping into the Akashic Records when he was making these predictions.
Yeah.
And what he would stare into like a bowl or some sort of meditative state, right?
Yeah.
So Edgar Casey, he had a spine injury. And he prayed. He would always pray. He prayed for the ability to help people. That's what he wanted to do with his life. And this is when he was a kid.
Okay.
And when he was a young man, he got hit with a baseball on his spine, and it caused an injury.
Another traumatic injury.
Right. And after this injury, he was able to do something pretty miraculous. He would put a book on his bed, lay on it, fall asleep, and when he woke up, he could recite every word in the book.
Wait.
On every page.
He would lay on top of the closed book?
Yes. He would sleep on it. Sleep on a book.
And then he would be able to know every word.
Every word in the entire book.
So if you said,
and they would test him all the time.
If you said like page 38, line 4,
he had that memory.
Word
He would
6.
know exactly word for word what was on that page. Right? Crazy claim.
That's
right?
crazy.
Crazy. But
That's insane.
That's something he was able to do. What
like
else could he
tested.
do?
People would come like
When he was a young man, his family, they found it creepy.
Bizarre, yeah.
They were at first, they were like unsure. So he prayed, and then a being came to him in a vision and said, I'm going to give you the ability to heal people, because that's all he wanted. He always prayed for that. And they said, well, I'm going to give you this ability. And so what he would do,
he gives him a
is he would go
scholarship to a college to get his doctorate.
Yeah. Become a physician. It's funny you say that. He did become a physician, but not that way. This way. So a being from somewhere comes to him and says, I'm going to give you the ability to heal. And that's it. He doesn't know what that means or how it's going to be used or how he's able to do it. Yeah. But the idea that he would fall asleep and be able to learn an entire book
is insane.
He would start to go to sleep. And when he was in his sleep, he would go into these trances and he would see the future. He would see the past. He saw Atlantis, and he would talk about it in great detail.
I would put Vanessa Hudgens' diary under my pillow, and I'm like, and then I'd see her. I'd be like,
I know everything.
You know what my
in your
favorite
diary?
movie is? Yeah.
Oh.
I just love that movie, Die Hard. She's like, oh my God, that's my favorite movie. Weird.
Did we throw the picture up of Edgar?
Yeah, we did.
We can keep it up while we're talking about him, or we don't have to.
No, it's cool.
But so that was his process, and the reason why they called him a sleeping prophet is because he would be asleep in a trance when he did it. The way he would heal people is they would bring him somebody, and when he was asleep, he would say, every time it was like part of his process, he would say, the body is in the room. Now, he could do this while you were there in front of him, or he could do it at a distance. So once he got a connection to you, and how would you connect to somebody and see their illness or see them from a great distance, would have to be through this Akashic record, through this
Wait.
Akash.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Is that how potentially we have like the people that can remote view?
100%. That's what
Right?
they'd be tapping into. Yeah.
They're seeing, like, even when they did an example of it, it was a woman. She was staring at a bridge.
Yeah.
And there was water underneath. And the guy, miles away, he's told, hey, what is she looking at?
Yeah.
So he was able to tap into what she was perceiving.
And everybody has the ability to do it. And they even proved that in Russia. They would just take random like housewives, nobody who ever claimed to have psychic abilities, and teach them the method.
Yeah.
And they were like amazing at it. They were like crazy accurate.
Amazing.
So yes, that would be another example of tapping into the Akash, to be able to see things at a
dope.
distance.
And how wild that I mentioned the Doc Brown hitting his head thing.
That's
Isn't
because
that wild?
this is a
That's
common
literally
theme
what
here.
we're talking about.
Yeah,
What
it's
you're
usually some injury that starts that gives them this ability.
All right,
why
dude.
is that?
All right, I have a baseball bat. I need you to do me a favor.
Right? I want the
need
Akashic
clairvoyancy,
Records.
yeah.
Just learn to meditate. How about that? Or learn about
No,
chakras.
I'm skipping.
I want the easy.
I want the
Just hit me with
yeah.
that.
I want the
idea.
life hack version. Just
So a couple of predictions that he made. He predicted the stock market crash of 29. The day, everything.
yeah, a lot of people did. They're like, wait a minute, something. I feel like something's gonna
Well,
go right here.
we wish more people did because it obviously
Yeah,
not.
seriously. Well, what about the housing bubble? People,
You could use that's analytical, but what about the people that do this just on a just
no, yeah, without
inspiration,
knowing, following all the stuff, like the big
some
show.
muse, some cosmic muse tells you do this, and you listen to that voice. Or throughout the day, you're expecting your phone to ring and then it rings.
Yeah.
Like these little things, like you could call that your connection to this.
You know, yeah, even
ether.
little shit like this. Have you ever had? This happened to me recently. Have you ever had like a bad day and your mom or your dad texts you and say, "Hey, is everything okay?"
Yeah, all the time. They
Isn't
can
that
feel
wild?
it. Yeah.
They know.
Oh,
They
yeah.
know. And I'm sure you with your daughter, you're like, "Oh shit,
Empathy. Yeah. You
Something.
you think it's like what do they call it? Like like moms have it that mom
Intuition,
mother's
women's
intuition.
intuition,
Right.
yeah.
What is intuition? It's probably a connection to this ether. right?
Even step back even a little bit more. What about when you walk into a room, that sixth sense, no pun intended, because we're
Yeah.
just talking about fucking M. Night Shyamalan. But when you walk into a room and you're like, oh, someone was fighting, or there's like
You could
an
feel the
argument going,
energy.
you could feel it was palpable.
Yeah.
Or like, or your girlfriend gets home and you're like, oh shit,
Yeah, and
something
some
happened,
people
something's up. Yeah.
are better at it than others. Some
Yeah.
people are more connected to it than others. And it has
Commonly, they believe women are better, hence women's intuition.
I could see that. Yeah, for sure. And it might just be the ability. I mean, how
Empathy.
does this work? Yeah. Maybe that's what it
A
is.
little more empathetic, you could tap in more easily. Who
I could see
fucking
that.
knows?
But yeah,
But this spreads to everything. It's crazy.
It does.
It's the net, baby.
it's the net. It's the force.
It's the Sandra
that
Bullock
penetrates
1996 movie. No, I don't.
So something I thought that was interesting. What he would do is once he would say, the body is here.
That's a weird, funny thing.
Isn't that
to
weird?
say,
Yeah. And he was always asleep, and he would never remember the things that he said while he was asleep.
Yeah.
And they would do things like doctors thought he was a fake. So the physicians would come in with their patient, knowing what was wrong with them, and test him. And they'd bring in the person, and he would say the body's here, and he would diagnose them totally, and he'd be right every
Colon
time. And the
cancer.
doctors would be like, let's. So when he would go in his trance, they took needles and they would prick him.
And he wouldn't react.
No react. He wouldn't even bleed. It wasn't until he awoke that the pain in the blood.
He's there. He goes
pissed.
into his trance, and they poke
Yeah.
him. The body is pissed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Stop it. I'm not there yet. Yeah.
100%. He got pissed. He's like, I'm not a person's. I'm nobody's experiment.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't allow that ever again. And he
Yeah.
didn't know they were planning to.
Can
do
I tell
that.
you, him saying the body's here, it makes it seem more realistic to me.
Yeah.
Just having it like a phrase. I don't know. It seems like
It's interesting, right?
because that's a unique thing. The body is here. Why
It
would you
is
say
unique,
that?
Yeah.
Unless like he had some reason. For
And he's
saying
connected to them. He could see everything wrong with them.
body is here.
And what he would do, and all of his healing methods were always home remedies and herbs and dietary changes and suggestions. And very similar to that the guy that they killed. I can't remember his name, but he was a holistic doctor who cured. He had I think it was 100 different cases of cancer that he had cured.
Yeah.
Incurable diseases, and all of these
How
people
did he
came forward
die?
to testify.
Yeah.
He was killed and poisoned in prison.
Yeah. Son
Yeah,
of a bitch.
they put him in jail and then they poisoned his
They
food.
put
He
him in
tried not to
jail.
eat as
That's
long as
right.
possible, but
Yeah.
eventually he was poisoned and killed. Yeah,
Because he was literally
Homeopathic.
like cancer, like
he cured cancer.
crazy diseases. He cured people. Full stop.
This isn't a guess. It's all recorded
Yeah.
in the court documents because he was sued for fraud because he was saying he could cure cancer and other incurable diseases. They said that is fraudulent
Bullshit.
advertising.
Show us proof.
Yep.
Here's 40 people
And
that
all of
yeah.
his patients that he cured showed before and after medical records. And because of that, he was cleared. So
Yeah.
there was actual legal documentation proving that he was able to cure cancer.
Yeah. So, sir, you seem fine. What happened to you? Did you have cancer or something? No, I was a quadriplegic.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit! All right, holy cow! This guy with all his.
I wish I
limbs
could
are-
remember his name, Doctor such and such.
Zhivago.
It's he's such an important. No, we're going to talk about him on the show, so
Okay.
I'm just going to move on from there. But that's interesting. So, if our life is all recorded in these Akashic records,
Okay.
Now in the East, they all believe in reincarnation and past lives.
Yeah.
So, if the Akashic Records is a record of every conscious being that's ever lived, then if reincarnation is real, wouldn't your past lives also be recorded in these Akashic Records?
Everything is.
Of course.
Yeah.
And would you be able to tap in and remember your past life
Dude,
if you could do that?
Yeah.
And have people said that they can
Yes.
remember past lives?
Yes.
So
Dude.
how could they do that?
Yeah.
It's not your physical body that's doing
not.
it.
Dude,
No.
this I remember a story I heard. It's like a 5-6-year-old kid telling his World War II story.
Hold on, I have
What?
something for you. Play this video.
Is it this?
Dude, I don't know, but it's very similar, so it might be.
And what about the woman who claimed she was like a princess in Egypt or some shit?
Okay, yeah, play this video, and then we'll talk about that. That's an interesting case too. So what we're going to
Dr.
get into
Dolittle
now
can talk to Amy.
is past lives and reincarnation, and is it the Akashic records that allow you to view or see your past lives? So let's play this video about a young boy. He was scared of loud noises, and his mom didn't understand why. Took him to a therapist and asked to try and help him because he couldn't be around any loud reverberating noises like fireworks. Scared him to death, and he's just a little child.
Yeah. Do we
So
have a
she's trying to
TS?
help him. Yeah. Time is 5:40. 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
Cool. I'm ready.
So he's scared of loud noises. So she takes him to a doctor, and this is the interaction she has with the doctor.
Okay.
About her son.
Child could have a past life memory.
5:40.
So Norman, who is a very wise
Okay,
man,
keep it here. It's fine.
Isn't this 5:40?
Yeah.
said to Chase, who
It is
again
now.
was this big, looking at me, he was half my size. He said, sit on your mom's lap, close your eyes, and tell me what you see when you hear the loud sounds that frighten you. And immediately I could see his eyelids fluttering as if he were getting some
Like
visuals.
REM sleep.
And he said, I'm crouching behind a rock. I'm a soldier. I have a gun, a long gun with a sword at the end.
He's a couple years
There's
old.
smoke
A
everywhere.
bayonet.
I don't even know who I'm shooting at. I don't want to be here. So
He knows
I'm
like the
scanning,
feeling,
Right.
What Sesame Street episode
yeah.
could this be?
Right?
What Mr.
Where's he getting
Rogers-
this from?
The kids, we actually
They're
had a
laughing.
bumper sticker on our television. Robert might remember, kill your television. I mean, the only TV the kids watched was PBS. And at that point, this is 1988.
they're not
we
showing
didn't really
World
have,
War stuff.
maybe
No.
they saw a few Disney movies.
Not a little 3-4-year-old.
Yeah.
So
right.
as he was saying this, I'm going, where is this coming from? I had no idea. So Norman just asked him open-ended questions. Well, then what happens is, I'm shot in the wrist. And he held his right wrist and he said, I black out. Norman said, then what happens? And he said,
It's a little child.
they take me to a hospital,
Yeah.
but it's not like a regular
like in
hospital.
a
It's just
tent.
these poles in the ground with some covering on top.
Yeah.
And they put me on a bed, but it's not like a regular bed. It's just
It's a
a
little
hard
cot.
bench.
Yeah.
He described this bed, which was really a hard bench. And he said, they bandage my wrist and they tell me I have to go back to battle. I don't want to be there. I don't want to shoot other people. And I miss my wife and family.
This kid's
And I still get emotional talking about this
Yeah.
all these years later because that was the moment when I had the goosebumps and I realized we're in completely new territory.
Stop it there.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a
Why-
really interesting story. So this is just a little boy who's scared of loud noises, and when he's asked about why, to close his eyes and imagine why, in that moment, he's tapping into a past life, and that's being held in this ether.
In the net. Why does he have an aversion to loud noises? Because he has PTSD.
Yeah. Literally. And most children who remember their past lives, they forget around 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah,
That's a very common thing.
yeah.
It's only in those early years where they can remember their past lives.
So the crazy thing is, this isn't the story that I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
The one I'm talking about, he was a pilot in World War II.
Cool.
And he's
Okay.
telling his family about it. And he literally tells his mom like who his co-pilot was, who his friends were. Like he like missed his friends. He had a fucking family. They did a whole thing on the news where they went to
cool.
the house. Yeah. And they talked to the kid and they talked to the parents. And dude, it was wild. Firecrackers. Giving life.
Yeah. That's what actually initially started the whole thing. It was like 4th of July, and as soon as the fireworks
like,
went
oh.
off, he freaked out. Like
Him
in a
and
way
the
that wasn't
dogs were
normal.
hiding. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So if most kids forget their past lives around 4 or 5 years
Why
old,
is that? Yeah.
there are some exceptions to this rule.
Why would that be though?
So
question.
I think the more maybe the more settled into this plane of existence or this lifetime that you are, the less that you'll be able to tap into this other life.
Yeah.
Some people though that can tap into this fifth dimension or this ether can remember all of their past lives. This is like some people do. They meditate and to see their past lives and learn from them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that say not to do that. Like these Shen, the Shen today.
They say not to meditate and look into the...
Yeah, that unless you're extremely balanced in this life, you shouldn't go looking at your past lives.
Why? It's like harmful or...
Yeah,
it's,
it can cause
brain
more
overload or some shit?
it could cause more damage than good.
Yeah.
If you're a very well-balanced person and your life is in a really good place and stable, then maybe go dive into some of these lessons of the past. But it's not good if you're kind of messy or you're not there yet, and you're not totally in tune with this world or this life.
It's almost like psilocybin or like any of those psychedelics, dude. If you're like not in a good place and you take that shit, you might have a bad trip.
So what do those do? Awaken your consciousness and tap you into this ether. A lot of people say that's what it's doing for them.
Absolutely, all those psychedelics. Yeah. Dude. Yeah. Given Life said he posted about one of his past lives.
Yes.
Yeah, he did. Remember?
That's awesome.
He said it made him stronger. Wild. Yeah. That was crazy. I remember that. But so it's funny. These Akashic Records could actually be an explanation for so many things.
Yeah. So many things.
Past life memories.
Yep.
Because how would a child remember fighting in a world war?
No. Spontaneous inspiration.
Having, what is a muse? Having just... And I don't know if you've had, because I've liked writing music and poetry and stories.
Yeah, I do that
where
too.
you have stuff you're like, this is such a dope idea. I don't know where the fuck I came up with this shit. But you think, well,
have you ever thought of something out of nowhere, a concept or a thing or a movie scene or something, and then later in the day somebody asks you about that exact thing?
Dude, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. What about? Well, I guess I brought up Unbreakable. Yeah, that's great. Great movie too. But I brought up Unbreakable. But even just because I just saw it like last week, maybe 2 weeks ago. So it's funny that there's always been those cases of the deja vus, or you exactly that. You think of a song and then it comes on the radio. You're like, I haven't heard this song in fucking 10 years and now it's popping on. Like what? Or comes on at, a place you're at.
And when does this usually happen? This inspiration? It's when you're in the shower and you're in that kind of hypnotic state, or you're driving and you end up, you're home and you don't even remember.
Yeah. Something
lanes.
very routine where you sort of zone out.
Exactly. So
meditation.
It is. It's your mind is in a different state. You're more in your subconscious than you are in your present conscious.
Yeah.
So the subconscious mind is really, and that's why the collective unconscious makes a lot of sense, right?
So much,
So that's interesting. So let's talk about Dorothy Eady, who you had just mentioned a little bit ago. So in the in the 1920s, there was a young girl who fell down the stairs and had a head injury.
Did she have an injury too?
Yeah. So that's why it's so interesting. These injuries are usually the catalyst for this access.
Crazy? Maybe I'm confusing two stories, but this might be right. I think the World War II kid, got hit with like a baseball bat or something. And
I would believe that.
I swear to God, that was on the story. Maybe I'm conflating two stories or confusing two, but I'm pretty positive he got hit with a baseball bat specifically. I remember the story on the news.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, so this guy,
let's look throughout even history, even in the Odyssey, the prophets are always what? They're always blind. There's
Yeah.
always something
Or they
like
share
that.
like one eye or something crazy.
Something so there's always this when it comes to these fortune tellers or these people that can see the future, they're always injured.
They're
in some
missing
way.
a sense or they have some injury, and that's how they pick up.
Where
on
does
this
that
stuff.
come from? Is that just fiction, or does that come from a real place? Why are these prophets always blind? Dorothy Eady suffers a brain injury, and all of a sudden she doesn't feel home anymore. She feels like where she lives isn't her real home, and her parents don't know what to do about that.
sad, horrible
They don't
feeling.
understand. Yeah, and imagine being the parents, like trying to figure out what's
Nothing you can do.
and the child can't really explain what's wrong. And she's only a few years old at the
Because she's
time.
homesick at her own house. Of
Right.
course, she can't define that. Yeah.
They take her to the British Museum, and she doesn't care about it. I think she's 4. She doesn't care about anything that's there until they get to the Egyptian part of the museum. And she lights up and starts running to the statues, kissing their feet even.
She's like,
and
this-
upset with
this
the
is
people.
home. This
that-
makes sense.
They're like, she's like, how are you people have your shoes on in the presence of the gods? Like, this is a 4-year-old. He's screaming at adults.
She shouldn't even know
They're
what
not-
the fuck.
Yeah.
How do you know that's Osiris?
How disrespectful you're all being. Then she sees a mummy, and she tells her parents, "These are my
Billy?
people."
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. These are my people. So the parents are like, oh, well, they don't know what to do, but they start taking.
Tutankhamun, you sick son of a bitch! Where have you been?
Yeah. It's good to see you. You're not looking great. But,
Yeah, you look terrible, tutty boy.
Yeah. So she, she ends up. They have to pry her out of the museum, but they end up taking her there a lot. They get her an encyclopedia of ancient Egypt, and she realizes when she comes across a city called Abydos, this picture of Abydos, she says that's home. She finally found where she belongs.
We called it blah blah blah, but you guys call it Abydos.
Yeah, the city of Abydos, but she recognized it from the photos as being where she was from.
That's wild.
And what proof do we have that any of this is real? Egyptologists, she would tell them where to dig for certain things, and she would be right. The findings that she said they would find were there.
Specific.
Yeah. Dig here, and you'll find the garden that I used to water. 3,000 years ago.
This was my fig garden, whatever. Oh shit, there's figs. Yeah. But I'm sure it's more complex than that. But by the way, I wanted to mention this to you.
Yeah.
I want to create a T-shirt with sayings on the backs of the shirt. Yours, you say a couple things all the time, but one of them is, and what proof do we have for that?
That's funny.
You say that a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
And when I say the fucking goods, obviously would be on there.
Yeah.
The goods, with like 5 O's. But no, I was just thinking about like a few things we say. But you have a couple of them. But and that's one that I hear a lot.
That's
and
fine.
what's the proof we have for that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she sees Abydos as being her home. She marries somebody who lives in Egypt. And when she finally gets to Egypt for the first time as an adult, she finally feels home. She kisses the ground when she lands. And she works with Egyptologists on new discoveries to help them find certain areas.
Oh, the Ark of
note.
the Covenant? Yeah, and I remember when that was taken over
That would be
Ethiopia.
interesting, right?
That'd be insane.
But she spent her life doing that, and that's amazing. So there's
Explain
some
that.
proof.
Explain that.
Yeah, how do you explain that?
You can't.
So the only way that she would be able to tap into this past life would be as if this past life is stored somewhere. These
Akashic
memories are
Records.
stored somewhere, and that you could reach out to those memories somehow.
The Akashic Records,
It's
baby.
not the physical body. It can't be, right? Because you're in a new body. It's got to be somewhere else. It's got to be out there in the universe, in the ether. And we have so much proof of the ether and the 0 point, the nuts and bolts of it, even the physical side, the metaphysical side. A lot of people think that deja vu is a sign of a glitch in the matrix or that we're in a simulation.
Yeah.
But deja vu could very well just be past life memories intruding on present time.
Do you think that's what it is?
From Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's. Do I think that's what it is? I don't know. I heard a story.
What do you believe deja vu is?
Yeah, that's a good question. That you're basically asking me if I believe in simulation theory.
Not necessarily.
No. I think yes. I think deja vu is. I think we have a multiverse for sure.
Okay.
And I think some version of you had done whatever it is that you're doing at some point
And you're sort of glimpsing in that.
and you've tapped into that because all of the multiverse would be tapped into these Akashic records.
You know what I've heard? I've heard that deja vu, and this is probably the best explanation I've heard. It's when your brain has the exact same thought twice. So there's a familiarity, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, have I been here saying this? No, you just sort of had the exact same thought, like the exact same time. So
some people do it in places they've never been before, and they go and they're like,
it just
"I've
happened to
been
me the other
here."
day. I said something to a friend, and I was like, "I'd said this. Weren't we doing this?"
Right.
And I said this to you. But if your brain has the exact same thought twice, which would be a unique occurrence, right? Because your brain's in 1,000 different directions. Your subconscious, right? And so I think it's the best explanation I've heard, other than something
the
a
best,
little more
like,
esoteric.
yeah, exactly. So like the best explanation as far as the world being less interesting and mystical,
the
right?
most boring. With no mysticism.
A very scientific type explanation. But I think there is a lot more to reality than that. I do. And deja vu might be a sign of it. I heard an interesting story on the Joe Rogan Experience. He was, I have the guy's name, Harlan Williams.
The comedian. He's hilarious.
Yeah, he is so funny.
Yeah, he's
but he believes in simulation theory 100%.
Yeah,
He thinks it's real. Yeah. And he says that he has gone to the same place for 9 years in a row on the same day at the same time. And every time he goes there, the same thing happens. A red car drives by, a pigeon flies off, and a kid giggles in the background.
It's the Truman Show.
9 years in the row.
It's like the Truman Show,
right?
Where he's like, this is where Bob's gonna bicycle by, and this is where Mary's gonna drop.
And they just go around and around and around.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, he believes this is a glitch in the Matrix. He said this year, though, something changed. As the bird flew off, the pigeon that always flies off every year for 9 years, a little feather fell off of the bird. Now, because it was a change.
No, this is the glitch in the Matrix. That is the Matrix. The 9 years was the Matrix as it is.
Right. That's what he believes.
Glitch, yeah.
So the feather falling off, that's never happened before. So he does something interesting.
Does he grab
actually
the feather?
takes the feather and he brings it to friends of his that can analyze it, actual scientists.
Yeah.
And they analyze it and they find out the feather doesn't belong to pigeon. It belongs to an extinct form of bird, a bird that's been extinct for years, maybe over 100. So an extinct bird feather fell off of a common city pigeon in this 9-year reoccurring simulation glitch that he goes through. But the idea that, how did this feather get there?
Yeah.
Where did it come from? Why did it fall off of a normal city pigeon if the bird's supposedly extinct? And the bird that it comes from is a bird that can't fly. So how did it get
the
there?
feather that dropped?
Yeah.
It's clearly not from that bird.
It can't be, because it was a pigeon.
But it's from a bird, not only just an extinct bird that's been extinct for 100 years around.
Or whatever,
Around about.
Yeah.
It's been extinct for decades.
Yeah.
Not only that, but it's a bird that can't fly,
That doesn't
has
fly.
no flight.
Right. It's one of those types of birds that just...
Like a penguin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That doesn't fly.
Weird.
How did that feather get there, and why did it fall off of this pigeon?
You know what Harlan does, though? And it's amazing, but it's funny because he's doing this.
Hilarious.
He is funny.
Dude.
But he does this thing where the very dry humor where sometimes he'll even say shit, almost like a Theo Von, where you don't know if he's joking or not. Like, you don't know when
I
he's
love
joking.
that
I love
about
it too.
him. He is hilarious.
Like that story.
Yeah.
It might have been one of those.
He brought the feather with him and tried to hand it to Joe.
Yeah.
Joe wouldn't touch it. He was just like, no, I'm okay. Like, I don't want to touch your bird feather.
Do with that.
Right?
Yeah.
But he was like, please. Like, he's like, dude, you're not. Like, to him, this was so significant.
Of course.
And Joe was trying to find an arbitrary, like, and I think he said, what if there was like a taxidermied version of this extinct bird and someone left their window open and that taxidermied extinct bird's feather flew out the window and just happened to land in the...
Leave it to Rogan to take something dope and
His
make it
explanation is even more extraordinary than just...
than simulation theory. Which is like, if you go just based on numbers, it's like...
Come on, dude.
It makes the most sense.
That's crazy.
That's hilarious.
But that was, he was trying to come up with some way that this is possible. But that's interesting.
Wild.
Is that a glitch in the Matrix, or what are we looking at there? So that's just a strange. I thought that was an interesting story. So that's the Akashic Records. That's the Akash, the net, the force. The ability to know all things is available to all of us, and even past lives. But I also have a conspiracy corner today, if you want to get to it.
Let's do it, baby.
Okay. Because this is a fun one.
Conspiracy corner.
Oh, it's a cool graphic. Look at that. Look at the
So
board.
what's going on here?
Yeah. So what do we got?
So there's a board. Okay, conspiracy corner. What we got, Jay?
I saw something so interesting. It was a video the other day. A guy goes before a city council and he tries to make the case that the Challenger explosion. So this was the spaceship that blew up right after takeoff. It was a huge deal. And a bunch of astronauts on board died in the explosion. I think it was 7 of them.
Yeah.
Horrible tragedy, right? The Challenger explosion. It's a big part of NASA's history.
American history, yeah.
He was making the case that that was faked and that those people on board are all still alive and well. Not only are they alive, they're still living under their same names, and they're all like on Facebook, and they all have careers, and that they faked this. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. But look at his evidence. It's pretty compelling. I've got the... Oh, did I send you the video for this?
No,
oh, well, I'll send it to you real quick.
Damn.
Yeah, because this is like pretty crazy. And my...
Do you want to save this for next week?
Well, we're already into it.
Oh, we're already there. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll just send it to you real
It's
quick.
Yeah.
It makes more sense just to finish it off here. Okay. Oh, I'm going to put it right at the top.
Because we do have our TikTok live stream right after this. Don't forget.
Oh, don't forget. All right. So you got this link. This is a short thing. YouTube short. What is it? No, it's X. So it's Twitter.
Okay. Oh, it's Twitter? Did you text
Chase
it
wants
to
us to keep going. I put it on the notes. It's at the top of the notes.
Okay. It's at the top of the notes.
Yeah.
I'm not getting it.
I don't see it on yours, yeah.
Yeah. It's on. Oh, there it is.
Yay. Yeah, guys, watch this. This is extremely interesting. So all of the astronauts, this guy went out and found them, and their pictures analyzed using facial recognition software shows that they are the people that supposedly had died. The names are the exact same as the names of the astronauts, and the age matches up to what age they would all be now, today. My only question is, if this is true, why did they fake this? What was the motive? This guy believes it was a psyop of some kind, a way to kind of stop us from pushing forward in this whole trip to the moon thing, because there are ramifications to going to the moon. When we had the Tom DeLonge episode a few episodes ago about To the Stars and Disclosure, one of the big things they said is why they started Disclosure now, why they let Fravor talk, why they have Ryan Graves out there telling his story, why they declassified the military UFO videos for the first time in history, is because they know that these private companies are going to start seeing things on the moon that they're going to have to answer to. So going to the moon is a problem for these private companies because they're going to see what we saw when we went. And what we saw was structures.
To see what I've seen.
Ancient technology.
To be where I've
That's
been.
always been there. So maybe this was a way to slow down that our vigor for going to the moon.
This video?
Yep, that's the one.
Dude, this is the same guy I showed in that short forever ago.
This guy might be a conspiracy theorist. That's exactly what this is. Conspiracy corner.
Yeah, okay. Let's get it going here.
It's a really compelling testimony. I'll say that.
Using the same exact name.
Okay, here we go.
Good morning, commissioners. Today I come here asking for your help, but first a little backstory. I think we all remember the Challenger explosion that took place in 1986 that tragically took the lives of all 7 astronauts on board. It launched not too far from where we're standing here today. Well, the interesting thing is, a couple decades later, this thing called the internet came about, and someone allegedly found almost all of those astronauts alive and well, many using the same exact names.
No shit.
Yeah.
As you can see here, we have Challenger astronaut Judith Resnick and also a Judith Resnick Yale law professor. Michael J. Smith, the pilot of the Challenger astronaut, and also professor at University of Wisconsin, now retired Michael J. Smith. Commander Dick Scobie, who's now president of Cows and Trees.
Scobie.
Now, if you'll notice, they all have the exact same faces 30 some odd years later, the same exact name, and they are the same age. Now, we all have a doppelganger out there, right?
Sure.
No big deal. But to have the same face, the same age, and the same exact name is extremely rare. So rare, I could only find one case in the last 120 years. And we're supposed to believe that 3 people from one space flight have exact lookalikes that have the same age, and same exact name.
That's what I'm
Ladies and
saying.
gentlemen, is beyond statistically impossible. Miss Resnick was questioned at Yale by a journalist, and she panicked and ran
She
from the camera.
ran, bro.
Why?
I saw the
Mr.
video
Michael
of it.
J. Smith was also questioned, and he said, "Yeah, we look alike, but that's not me." You can see both of these
And have the
exchanges
same
in a film
fucking
called
name.
Level
Yeah.
With Me, and you can be the judge. Mr.
Sir, I'm gonna
Scobie
have
not
to-
only
Of
has-
course
I'm gonna
they're
Sir,
like.
this is a public comment.
I know what it is, sir. I'm very
Watch how
familiar
they
with
treat him
public
for
comment.
this.
Okay.
And part of the public comment is that you're only allowed to address things that we have jurisdiction over. We have no
I have a
jurisdiction.
direct request at the end of this that is in your purview,
Sir?
sir, please. I do. Can we hold the time, please?
They're trying to
I have a
figure.
direct
Yeah.
request.
How do we stop
How do we
this
shut
guy
this
from
fucking guy
talking?
up? Yeah.
Okay.
Very carefully. Mr. Richardson,
He hands it to someone
you
else.
give an opinion in
Will you
regards
please
to this, please.
stop him?
Yes, public comment is reserved for issues or topics that are under the jurisdiction or control of the county commission or that
He
are
just said
relevant
he's
to the
getting
business
there.
of the county commission. So if your
No,
request
yeah.
at the end is going to explain why that falls into any
He's like, "Can I build the groundwork, please?"
Yeah. I'm about to tell you how
So
this falls
as I
under
was
your
saying,
purview.
I'll just end it with what I was ending with. But the ask is that
I'll just continue where I left
knows
off,
very
fuckers.
well about questioning science, whether it be COVID or fluoride. I'm just asking you all to question the science here. Your
Great
Goodson and
examples.
Pritchett, your district covers the Kennedy Space Center. This launched from the Kennedy Space Center. You have the ability to help me in sounding the alarm and asking the federal government for help. If this is contained in your area, I should be able to at least address something that happened here. Don't you agree?
That's not within the jurisdiction.
He's like, I don't want to do this.
Will you let me finish for at least
No,
10
sir.
seconds?
No, you can't finish.
Thank you for taking away my freedom of speech today.
I did not take away your freedom of speech. There's a.
Yes, you did.
I don't want to hear it from you
Just
people
because this
down
is
here.
He's like arguing with the fucking
Please remove
people.
this man from the room.
Remove him.
I didn't.
Someone
violate
tried to
First
back him
Amendment.
up,
You violated
so
the
they're
rules.
like, you could take him out too.
Wow.
So I watched the video he references about somebody coming to that professor, that lady
The
who
chick
was an
just
astronaut,
bounces?
and they go, "Yeah, ma'am, I just wanted to ask you about the," and she already knows like what's coming, and as soon as they mention the Challenger, she runs for the door, dude.
She runs?
Oh yeah,
That's so
she literally
silly.
runs away. She's like, I
so
don't want to talk
fucking
about that.
silly.
But dude, the same name, the same face, the same age, and when you do look at the picture side by side, it's a little bit harder on here. But dive into this, guys. The Challenger explosion and the faking of it. It is the same faces. They look the exact same.
I'll make a shorter highlight and I'll put the faces up.
So what's going on there? And why do you think they would fake this?
Yeah. Dude, the people have the same face and the same name.
Same age.
Same age, yeah.
And they're all
So
professors.
why-
Yeah.
Why fake it?
Why? Yeah.
Does it bring the country together? Funding? What?
Doesn't bring.
See, guys, this didn't work out. I told you we needed that extra $18 million.
Or
whatever.
is it more about how do we end this program? How do we stop? How do we make this seem
this
dangerous?
Shit, this shit sucks. This
It's
ain't
dangerous.
working. Yeah, let's stop going to that. Let's stop going to space. It's crazy.
Maybe it was a way to get the. It's not as popular. We already beat the Russians there. We went there. There's nothing. There's no resources for us to
If it's
harvest.
NASA trying to get money, that makes sense. Or if it's the government or specific governmental bodies not wanting to give money to NASA, but to allocate it towards something else,
So-
that makes sense as well.
Where have we seen this before? So we have recently created the Space Force, right?
Yeah.
We didn't say NASA, who already is our space agency. We're going to give you more funding and a military division so that you can do. No, we're giving this to
NASA.
the military,
Yeah.
and you're still.
That's what we're here. Wait.
How do you think NASA felt when they made that decision? No, we're not going to let you guys handle it.
Yeah.
We're going to make our own space force separate from you. NASA's always getting smacked around and used as fall guys for things, and it just sucks.
Yeah.
Poor NASA. But I thought it was funny. So yeah, they don't like helping NASA for whatever reason. They don't want to help them.
I think because they think it's a waste of money.
They use and they're using old rockets from the 60s and stuff.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I think they're like, I think the warmongers, whoever. CTB, thank you so much.
you
And it's so
guys.
good seeing all your guys' badges, too.
So let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. What do you think about this? And why would we fake something like the Challenger explosion?
Yeah.
And because we said 7 people died, so we wanted there to be fatalities if we faked it. We wanted there to be major consequences, life and death consequences.
Literal, yeah.
So the only reason I could see is to make it make the country's appetite for these type of missions less than what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that it?
That's the Conspiracy Corner.
Cool.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah, I love it. Conspiracy Corner.
Yeah.
Very good stuff. Very good stuff, sir.
Interesting.
So I like it.
Yeah.
That was good times. That was a good goddamn show, man. That's
Yeah,
it.
a lot of fun stuff. That's all I got.
Beautiful. So, guys, we are Great Conspiracy Corner. Chase Max's.
Cool.
Guys, we are going to be going on TikTok after this, doing a live stream. If you want to ask us any questions about anything we just talked about, any of that cool stuff, we'll be on there. That's what we're there for, baby. So it'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited. So right after this, if you want to go to the after show, just go to TikTok.
Yeah.
But and we'll be there. We'll be streaming for a little bit. So, ladies and gentlemen, from Jared.
Yes, thank you to the chat. You guys were on fire the whole show. As always, thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, share the video. It helps us get out there to more people when you share it, when you subscribe, when you like the videos. So thank you. Do us that favor. Tell us what you thought about the concepts today and where are you at with the Akashic Records? Do you believe in it? Do you believe this? I mean, it explains so much. What do you think about Conspiracy Corner? I want to know where you guys land on that. If you're watching this and you're not watching live, please put in the comments what's going on here. Would love to hear from you.
Yeah, definitely. Everything he said. Guys, like, subscribe. We have chapters in all our videos, so if you go to a video right after this and you want to skip us something, you can. Bhad Bhabie, the net, the Akashic Records, cool, crazy stuff. And again, if you guys don't have TikTok, I mean, it is what it is, but we will be streaming on there right after this for a little while, so that'll be cool. But and we'll be doing that continuously. It'll be like an after show. So maybe you guys, if you want to download TikTok, we're out there at Podcast That Never Sleeps. So yeah, we'll see you guys there. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We got some cool videos coming out, as we always do, and some cool shorts and all that cool kind of stuff. But until next week, yeah, we'll see you next Tuesday. We love you guys. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on that flippity flop.
GL, Chase, D Livewire, CTV.
We love you guys.
Thank you,
You all
McKenna,
rock.
all you guys. Thank you.
Yep. Later, skaters. See you on that flippity flop.